You gotta take control. Life's too short. Get out of your head, make a better life instead. You gotta give it all your best. So put your hands up to the sky and live your best life, alright. Don't just let it go by, just try, oh my. Got only one life, got only this time. We gonna get it right. You gotta let go of those who don't belong in your tribe. So cut the bad out of your life. Yeah, do it one time. You gotta work till you're winning. Yeah, take control of the system. When you invest, it's addicting. No time to rest, let's go get it. Not gonna stop till I'm finished. Not gonna drop to my limits. Deep in my chest, I'm inhaling. Believe in testing and failing. You gotta flip everything in your mind. Take the limiting thoughts and turn them into your why. Prove to yourself you're worth it. You deserve it. Push past all the hurt and find your purpose. You gotta take control. Life's too short. Get out of your head, make a better life instead. You gotta give it all your best. So don't let go. Take control. Get out of your head, make a better life instead. You gotta give it all your best. Give it all your best. Hey, yo, never gonna stop, no way, no. Yelling out, hey, yo, headed to the top on our way, yo. You gotta make change, yeah, there's gonna be a little pain, but nothing's worse than staying the same. So light that flame, put the work in, go claim everything you want in this place. It's time to go fast, know that energy is all cash. You could get it all if you never give up, no slack. Headed to the top is a mystery, your own path. Never gonna stop, no, you got this, never go back. I know it gets hard, you gotta love it. You gotta recharge with what you want and think of your dreams. Get that energy to go and get everything. You gotta take control. Life's too short. Get out of your head, make a better life instead. You gotta give it all your best. So don't let go. Take control. Get out of your head, make a better life instead. You gotta give it all your best. Give it all your best.
I work blind, got vision I don't need to see. I'm picking mind over matter, I believe in me. I need to find more hours in the day to breathe. Need to find more power in the way I be. And when my mind turns sour with the painful scenes, I need to scream out loud, I can't stop me. I wanna be the greatest like Rocky. You know I leave them all hating like a hobby. I'm out here making moves like a lobby. And if you ain't with me, it's your loss, see. I got my mind on the facts, I'm a python, grab what I like real fast. Stroke until I have everything I attack, everything that I lack, everything that I want and I see, matter of fact.
Cause I'm my own worst enemy. Only if I let it be. I can control anything if I can just think carefully. I control my destiny. Deep up in my mind I manifest it. Every morning I wake up obsessed and everything I do the best. And deep within my mind you know I'll always manifest it.
Hello and welcome to My Mind Over Your Matter. My name is Rick. Just gonna start this show. Woo! It's Thursday. You know what that means. Got Tyson DeLacruz here waiting in the background. And without further ado, let's just go ahead and bring him on in. Yo, what's up, Tyson?
Yo, what's up? What's up, man? How's it going?
It's going good, man. How you been?
I'm blessed, bro. I'm blessed, man. How about yourself?
Same, but with a lot of pain, but the same.
Yeah? Where's the pain, man?
Man, physical therapy, chiropractor. I'm doing it 2 times a week for both of them. So I'm Monday, Tuesday, Thursdays, and Fridays.
Oh,
So,
man.
yeah, I got to put myself through this torture before I see the surgeon on Monday. So we'll see what happens.
Dang, best of luck, man. Speedy recovery, man.
Yeah. I hope they tell me that, we can prolong it a little bit, but a lot of the symptoms that I'm getting, it seems like I may have to go in the knife, but it is what it is. So how you been?
Is that a jack-o'-lantern right there in the front?
Yes, I got a jack-o'-lantern here. I got one over here too, but I guess the camera is too compressed, so you can't really see it.
It looks dope. What's this? What's the glass thing to the right of the jack-o'-lantern yeah.
This is my crystal ball.
Oh, because it looks like it has eyes on it, but now that your hand's on it, it doesn't have eyes.
Yeah, it's just radiating. It's it's my little crystal ball.
Love it.
So yeah, man. So what are we going to talk about tonight?
Bro, what you
There's
got?
a lot.
Yeah. I actually been a little preoccupied, but I got let me see what we got.
I got something already lined up.
You do?
Yeah. It's our favorite person.
Who is it?
Oh goodness. Let's jump right to it. So
Yeah.
I can give you time so you could square yourself off there. So let's go right to my favorite person in the whole wide world.
Speaking of Hamas, it has now said it has released all the hostage bodies that it can find. Not many, apparently. Only 9 bodies out of 28 corpses that were still in Gaza have been returned now to Israel. And we've seen the last couple of hostages
My favorite person coming up
including
next.
the final female hostage, Inbar Hayman and Mohammed al-Atroush. They were returned by Hamas. I think it obviously doesn't surprise me. We're talking about a brutal terror organization here, that they haven't kept what was meant to be part of their promise ahead of these peace negotiations. It is so disheartening, obviously, for those families who would have held out hope of being able to finally respectfully bury the bodies of their loved ones. But it also brings, I guess, more a likelihood of fighting to resume in Gaza if they cannot hold up their side of the bargain.
Well, Hamas have said that they need special equipment to be able to reach more bodies, of which Israel have come out and said that that's rubbish. I think for me, when they're not getting back the bodies, it still leaves that question of doubt within the families. And that's what I find really heartbreaking and we will discuss this later about the treatment of what the hostages have been facing while they were in Gaza. But if you were the family, you'd almost be holding on to that, what if my child is still alive and is just kept under the tunnels and has been mistaken to be one of these dead bodies. But as you said, Caroline, we are dealing with a terrorist organisation and they are just stuffing around now to try and keep this peace deal. Is just tinkering on the edge. You can just see that they're
one
really
of the bodies that they gave back was actually a Palestinian dressed up in an IDF uniform. I mean, it's sick what they're doing here. I don't believe them for one second that they can't retrieve these bodies. Maybe there will be some that are more difficult. There is a lot of destruction and rubble there, obviously. But what lies did they tell in the first place to get this this deal.
And I think that's part of what it's about. It's psychological warfare. And they've just given back all of the live hostages. There was naturally extreme jubilation and excitement in Israel. But you're right, Jamie and Caroline, if you hold out those extra bodies and those corpses, it is a form of psychological warfare where people feel like, well, is this really over? Is this war really done? And the reality is, it's not. Israel is still at war with Hamas. They have a lot to go in the 20-point peace plan before there is truly peace. But the other thing we've seen coming out over the last day or so is hostages recounting just how brutally they were treated in captivity, from being starved, forced to dig their own graves, chained up in solitary confinement for 2 years. It's just barbaric. But then you have other people like Greta Thunberg, whose couple of nights in an Israeli jail were so traumatizing and horrendous. In a tell-all interview with the Telegraph in the UK, she said, they dragged me to the opposite side from where the others were sitting, and I had the flag around me the whole time. They hit and kicked me. There's a lot I don't remember. So much is happening at once.
Are you kidding me?
You're in shock. You're in pain. But you go into a state of trying to stay calm. I mean, come on.
Oh, my God.
Come on. She was in there for what? A couple nights? The actual Israeli hostages were in there for 2 years in truly horrific conditions. Does she have no... And it's funny because she goes on to say that the prison guards had no empathy or humanity. Greta, where's your empathy and humanity for the actual hostages? If your experience in the jail of a democratic Western country was that bad, imagine how it is being in a tunnel underground that's controlled by a death cult. Probably a little worse.
Which she just can't even visualize what Israeli hostages would have been going through. As we saw when she posted on social media, the Israeli hostage who was digging his own grave, and she put that up as a Palestinian hostage. And so she's just got absolutely no idea. And further within that article, she actually has the hide to say she was made to drink from a tap that was near a toilet. And her green frog hat was taken off and stomped on.
Well, you know, I don't want to make light of someone. If someone was abused in an Israeli prison like that, if she was kicked and pushed, that is not on. But I do not believe it for a second, because this is someone who has spouted Hamas propaganda from the start of this war. So I don't actually believe it. And when she flits between serious allegations that she was physically abused and then, they made me wear a T-shirt with decolonization on it, and that is like on the same level of suffering, I find it very difficult
and that her hat
to find anything. And her frog hat was stomped on.
But it's also not in Israel's interest to mistreat her, because that gives her exactly what she wants, which is the story of, I was so oppressed. So why would they do that in the first place?
We saw how they were. She has no evidence of any of this, of course. There's no videos or any evidence, so I'll believe it when I see it, especially when it's coming from her. But we did see videos of how she was treated the first time on the first journey over on the first flotilla, and they were given sandwiches, and the worst thing that happened to them was that there was some ABBA music played. That's what we've actually seen as evidence. So until I see any firm evidence, I mean, she showed, there was a photograph of her with a suitcase that had Greta and a word I probably can't say on television, but means someone who solicits for sex on the street, that she alleges Israel called her. And I just do not buy it for a second, you know, because it's so juvenile. They don't need to do that. She's making enough of a fool of herself.
She said that about her suitcase as well, that was written on her suitcase, as well as a male genitalia, as well as an Israeli flag. So I know when you hear these sort of allegations and you think, well, Israel have come out and denied it all, but
all right, let's get off this thread.
She's an attention. she's an attention person, man. She wants the attention.
She wants, but this is my problem. She's my favorite person in the world, I guess, but not really. My problem is that as soon as she got released, right? How come she didn't say all the stuff that she's saying now?
Oh, because timing. She's very meticulous with the timing.
Because how come she just did not say thank you to Trump for what he just did for the Palestinians. No, we just got a whiny, complaining rugrat complaining that they made me drink from a sink. I got kicked and I got pushed and they fixed my hair. Like, are you kidding me?
Oh man,
Get
she's
out
a
of here.
champ.
She is something else, man.
Yeah, she sure is.
I wonder
She
who's
sure
paying
is.
her. Who's paying her?
Who knows, man?
We have to follow the money, right? That they say
Yeah.
follow the money. Like, I wonder who is backing Thriller with her bullshit.
Dude, who knows, man? Probably her father. Her parents are pretty prominent.
Yeah, and I mean, she has a lot of time on her hands.
Yeah, her family's pretty prominent. So I know I don't remember. I think we looked it up last time, but you know what they do, man. Yeah, it's just wild.
Wild. She's a mess.
You know, it's interesting, man. Like all these free Palestine individuals, you know, free Palestine, all this other stuff. Where's the praise? You know, can you get a little kudos though? You know, can Trump get some kudos for
he
something?
Gets nothing.
You know? And it's
not,
like, you know what? I give him 100% props for this because, you know, it's almost like a, I'm trying to think. I can't even think of the word right now. Like an undervalued role or an undervalued position for the amount of work, energy, and effort and the things that he's doing for the country. Not even like a little acknowledgement from the left.
Gratitude.
Nothing, you know? And it's just like, it's almost like being an offensive lineman on a football team. You know, it's an undervalued position, but one of the most important positions in on the field.
Right.
And it's like, and this dude still keeps going for it. He still keeps going for
and
America.
The fact, and you know what the Democrats try to do? They try to like take credit and say that Biden came up with the 21 plan, that 21 bullshit plan, whatever, that Trump successfully brought some peace over to that section in the Middle East, and now they're trying to give the credit to Biden. Biden was probably sleeping.
The only thing that Biden did is he made a lot of people rich, man. Made a lot of people rich through corruption.
Yeah, and the ice cream companies too. He made them rich too, because all he was doing is every day eating ice cream and getting other people's, you know, money and passing it along to others and making others rich beyond belief, especially with the COVID bullshit.
Yep.
No.
Yep. It's wild. It's wild. What's
up,
Chad?
So Jonathan and everyone else that came through, I think it was Chloe and Albie. What's up, guys? Yeah, literally, I just think that, you know, the auto pen did a majority of the work, and you know, President Auto Pen tried its best. I you know, who's behind the auto pen, right? Because it wasn't Biden, no way. Jill, good possibility. Hunter, a very good possibility. You know, there's a lot of stuff that, you know, I don't know. There's just what do you think, Tyson?
And anybody on the administration staff, you know, like I think a lot of that stuff, just in true transparency, without any like BS. I think a lot of the administration took advantage of the situation, and it was elderly abuse. It's elderly abuse, in my opinion. This guy, you know, didn't necessarily really know what he was doing. There's been some numerous accounts with Speaker Mike Johnson going there and him not really knowing where he was at and what he was doing and the things that he signed. That's elderly abuse.
Yeah. Yeah.
I basically prop this guy up and, you know, hey, he does a couple press conferences, reads from the teleprompter,
Does the
doesn't do
Roomba?
any real interviews, and then scoots them along, and then the people behind the scenes make the decision.
Yeah, he's the Mr. I call him Mr. Roomba, the Roomba president, because he's like trying to figure out which way to go. Like I had a Roomba that was like that. I was like, this robot is so confused. It doesn't even know what the hell it's doing. It's just doing the Biden.
Yeah.
It's crazy, dude. It's crazy. Oh, but the fact that the Democrats were trying to get credit for that's crazy. I was watching the mayor debate before going on live on the show. It looks like we're gonna have a communist mayor in New York City.
Yeah. Where are they standing at in regards of Poly Market, or where are they standing at in regards to him getting in?
Well, I go by the media and by the energy of the media. I don't even look at the poly markets. And the media, all of them are like anticipating him coming into office when, as soon as the election is done. So that's gonna really suck for New York. That's really gonna hit New York hard. I mean, I give him the benefit of the doubt. He fooled a lot of people, and that's what the Democrats are really good at, fooling people. But it's gonna hit him really hard on his ass when he doesn't have enough money to cover all the bullshit he wants to give out for free.
Yeah. Yeah, he's at an 88% chance on Poly Market right now.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just really not it's not good for New York, because I'm gonna have to boycott New York and not go to New York City for the next 4 years. I'm just not doing it, and I live right next to New York. Like I live from New York City, an hour and 20 minutes, an hour 25 minutes, an hour 20. So that's I wondered, because all the corporations a lot of them are leaving New York.
Yeah,
so
sure.
How is he gonna fund all this free stuff if there's not enough people to pay into the system? He wants to raise the rich, I guess, the billionaires or the ones that are wealthy by like 2% more of what they're paying.
Yep.
They don't need to do that. They could take that 2% and go to another state and turn that 2% and invest it and make that money even more for themselves.
For sure. For sure. And this guy, it's gonna ruin and destroy New York City's economic foundation. Absolutely destroy it. Free housing, free food, free travel. People don't even use the subways and the buses now in some areas. And he wants to give it all away for free now.
Yeah, that's just ridiculous. Because all right, if they're gonna make it free, and he's trying to compare an experiment that they did with 5 buses in New York. Are you kidding me? 5 buses only in New York that were just free. Imagine the whole bus system, and how can he control the MTA? Ain't that he can't control that?
No, he's going to need money to do it. He's going to need money.
No, but still, the MTA it's that's separate from the mayor.
Correct.
He doesn't control the MTA, so how is he going to give out free buses? It just doesn't make any sense to me.
Vouchers? I don't know, man. I don't know. They miraculously came up with, what was it? Some $23 billion for illegal migrants. So
that's crazy.
It's just wild.
I wonder how much of that money came from the Medicaid for illegals, and they took that money from the federal government.
Oh, probably a lot, man. A lot. That Medicaid situation, the payment protection plans, all that stuff was funneled in areas that we don't even know where it's at, man. Places like New York, just Chicago, Baltimore, all these sanctuary cities, man.
Yeah.
And then they funneled it into some of these schools where they didn't even necessarily need that money or couldn't even stay afloat without that, and just increased more program volume, not necessarily like changing the fundamentals of the program, just increase more staff, and then didn't even help more people. It's just stupid. So dumb.
Yeah, it's how I don't know. It's like, how can you get a non-businessman to run one of the most predominant capital of money in the world? It comes through New York City, and it comes through Wall Street, and you're gonna get someone that's unexperienced to run the biggest city of the world? I don't understand that.
I don't know this guy's background. Like, I haven't really looked into him. Like, I haven't dug like a deep dive into this guy. I know that he's a theater kid. I know that.
Oh Lord, you know how I feel about theater kids.
Yeah. So he's a theater kid. He used to be an Indian rapper, actually. Did you know that?
An Indian rapper.
Yeah.
Wow. What did he rap about?
I don't know.
Oh Lord, I don't even want to know.
Let me see if I can find it.
Oh God,
John asked if you saw the reporters leaving the Pentagon yesterday. I did. Yeah.
Yeah, I reported on that yesterday. That shit was crazy. It was kind of, you know, you can't have free will and do whatever you want. You know, the Pentagon you got to keep some secrets, and the media got pissed off and they just walked out. I'm like, okay, well, don't let the door hit you on the way out. And if I was one of the security holding the boxes and stuff, I would have kicked that shit right out of the fucking Pentagon. I would have punted it like a football. It's like,
Yeah, because
hey,
there are so many people in that sphere, and they have access to stuff like national security information, secret documents, and things like that just kind of float around, in the Pentagon, which is here nor there, but they just kind of float around, and people can have access to that pretty easily and walk out with it pretty easily, or take a photo of it, or somebody's over somebody's conversation.
Someone's dirty
war room, and then they just, this is how
they're like
happen.
Yeah, it's untrustworthy that is going on, because there's a lot of snakes within that Pentagon, and they're gonna try to get them out of there. But they did the biggest favor of getting the media out of there, because now they could really figure out who are the snitches within that organization there.
Yeah.
But you know something, Tyson? You want to take a quick look at the debate?
Sure, let's do it.
All right, let's take a quick look at it.
Look at Mamdani.
Mr. Mamdani, you told NBC's Meet the Press that you don't believe it's the role of the mayor to police speech. Your words about this war have comforted many New Yorkers, but they've troubled others, and I want to ask about some of this. There is your recent refusal, as we just discussed, to condemn the slogan, globalize the Intifada, which many view as a call to arms. In 2017, you rapped lyrics praising the Holy Land Five. These are men who were convicted of supporting terrorism.
That's what we're talking about, Tyson.
How would you assure New Yorkers, especially Jewish residents who might be concerned about this, that you would be a mayor for all? You have 1 minute to answer this.
Thank you for this opportunity. When I am speaking about the responsibility of leading this city, I mean leading not just those who voted for me, leading not just those who vote, but leading every single person who calls this city home. And that includes Jewish New Yorkers. And I have been so thankful for the opportunity I've had to sit with so many Jewish New Yorkers over the course of the primary and through the general. And it's in those conversations that I learned that this phrase evokes many painful memories of bus attacks in Haifa, of restaurant attacks in Jerusalem. And I heard from a rabbi about their roommate who was killed on one of those buses. And in hearing that, and the distance between that impact and the rationale that some use of saying it, of speaking about the Israeli occupation of Palestinian land, is why I said that I would discourage this language that I do not use. And what I'm looking to do as the first Muslim mayor of this city is to ensure that we bring every New Yorker together, Jewish New Yorkers, Muslim New Yorkers, every single person that calls this city home, that they understand they won't just be protected, but they will belong.
Mr. Sliwa, we will get to you. First, I'm going to ask a question of Mr. Cuomo. While you are a strong supporter of Israel, you have also been slow to develop a relationship with the city's Muslim community. You have called Mr. Mamdani a terrorist sympathizer. How do you assure those New Yorkers, especially Muslims and Arabic New Yorkers, that you will be a mayor for all? You'll have 1 minute.
Yeah, well, first, I think the Assemblyman created the perception himself. Why wouldn't he condemn Hamas? Why wouldn't he condemn Hassan Piker? Why did it take us here tonight for the first time for him to say it? He still won't denounce, globalize the Intifada, which means kill all Jews. Just say, I denounce it. He won't do it. That's the issue.
Mr.
And his divisiveness
Cuomo, can you address the question
is
that we're putting to
chronic.
you? I think you've made the point, but can you please answer about your own relationship with the Muslim community? You did not visit mosques for many years. More recently, you have been.
Yeah, I don't think in any way the Assemblyman is representative of the Muslim community, which is a vital community in New York City, and I am very fond of, and I've been working with. I think he's playing his own politics. Many of his positions don't even follow the Muslim faith, so I see them as two totally separate things.
Mr. Mamdani, you want to respond?
You know, it took Andrew Cuomo being beaten by a Muslim candidate in the Democratic primary for him to set foot in a mosque. He had more than 10 years, and he couldn't name a single mosque at the last debate we had that he visited. And what Muslims want in this city is what every community wants and deserves. They want equality, and they want respect. And it took me to get you to even see those Muslims as part of this city. And that, frankly, is something that is shameful and is why so many New Yorkers have lost faith in this politics.
Yeah, except that is totally false. I've worked with the Muslim community for many years.
Name a single mosque you went to when you were the governor. Can you name a single mosque you went to in 10 years?
Before you were ever here. They were
before I was here.
Before you were even in state government. I worked with the Muslim community. Yeah. Imams presided over State of the States. We worked in religious working groups, tolerance groups, anti-Semitic groups, etc.
All right, gentlemen. Mr. Sliwa, Rosarita has a specific question for you, but I'll give you a second here.
This is what disturbs me about you. You will be celebrating your birthday this weekend. In 1991, I was in the streets of Crown Heights with the Guardian Angels for 30 days and 30 nights when the first Democratic Socialist mayor of New York City, that's right, David Dinkins, was a proud member of the Democratic Socialists of America, abandoned the Jews for 3 days. They were left to their own means. And we protected them for 30 days and 30 nights. Then your favorite mayor, Bill de Blasio, in 2019, abandoned the Jews again when they were being attacked in Williamsburg, in Borough Park, and Crown Heights. And I had to bring the Guardian Angels in for 30 days, 30 nights. Jews don't trust that you are going to be there for them when they are victims of anti-Semitic attacks.
Okay. Brief response, Mr. Mamdani. We have a specific question for you from Rosarita, but Mr. Mamdani, please.
I agree, by the way.
One of the most meaningful experiences I've had over the course of this campaign has been the conversations I've had with Jewish New Yorkers.
I don't like this guy.
Jewish New Yorkers who've told me about the door that they've had to lock that they had kept open for 40 years. Jewish New Yorkers who've told me on the M57 about an apartment the speech therapist was trying to sell when a realtor told her, put the Jewish books off the table. Jewish New Yorkers who've told me about their fear in living in this city. And I will be a mayor who finally addresses that, not through the theatrics of the politics on this stage, but through action. I'll do that by ensuring that we have police officers outside of synagogues on the high holy days.
Gentlemen, we have a lot to get to, and we do have a specific question for Mr. Sliwa. Rosarita.
Thank you, David. Mr. Sliwa, you've called for tougher policing of pro-Palestinian protests, and you've suggested that Mr. Mamdani uses languages that is anti-Semitic. How do you assure New Yorkers that you'll be the mayor for all?
Well, I've been there for all people in all times for 46 years as leader of the Guardian Angels here and around the world. Whether it is a religious violation of people's rights to worship as they choose in a mosque, in a church, in a synagogue, or a shul, whether it's because of racial identity. Remember, in the summer of 2020, Asians were under constant attack because of the lockdown and pandemic. I don't remember Governor Cuomo coming to their aid. You were the governor then. I was out there going into all the neighborhoods, Flushing, Bayside. We were in down in Bensonhurst, We were in Chinatown itself, where Asians were being attacked indiscriminately because they were thought to be carrying COVID. We protected them then. Governor, you were not there for them. De Blasio was not there for them. We understand hate. And in order to counteract hate, you have to get the community involved along with the police to protect people when they're under siege. Jews are under attack now more than ever before. And I don't believe either of you have the capabilities of protecting them with increased anti-Semitism.
That is pure fiction. I passed the no hate in our state, the strongest hate crime law in the United States of America. We tolerate no hatred, no discrimination. We are from every place on this globe, and
unless
we are
it's
proud
you
of
that's
it.
perpetrating
and, excuse me, and we're tolerant and we accept. If you notice, the assemblyman still won't say he believes that Israel has the right to exist as a Jewish state. He is a divisive personality all across the board. NYPD are racist. Barack Obama is an evil liar. And he gave the finger to the Christopher Columbus statue.
By the way, Cuomo, your laws with no cash bail turn the haters right back in the street to violate and attack again and again and again.
Thank you.
You're the reason for that. No cash bail.
You don't know what you're talking about.
Thank you. Go ahead.
There have been a number of absolutely unfair.
Why did let this guy speak?
I would just like a moment to address that
Like,
directly.
why is he speaking?
I've said time and again that I recognize Israel's right to exist. I've said that I will not recognize any states. I said that I will not.
As a Jewish state.
If I would be allowed to finish, that I would not recognize any state's right to exist with a system of hierarchy on the basis of race or religion. I have made that very clear. And part of that is because I'm an American who believes in the importance of equal rights being enshrined in every single country, whether we're speaking about Israel or whether we're speaking about Saudi Arabia. You can stand here and you can lie all you want, but New Yorkers know.
We have the question. We want
to address some issues here.
All right, and we have another polarizing issue that we would love to discuss with you candidates. And let's talk about the National Guard here in the city of New York. Now, let's go back to Mr. President Donald Trump. One threat hanging over the city is the deployment of the National Guard troops, like he has done, as you all know, in other cities. The NYPD commissioner has rejected the idea as unnecessary, but the president ordered troops to hit the streets of New York. Now, how would you respond? Mr. Sliwa, you have a minute.
There's no need for the National Guard in New York. Kathy Hochul, the governor, when we had a crime crisis in the subways that I'm well familiar with, being down there all the time, unlike my two adversaries, she sent 750 National Guardsmen down into the subways in 2024. Remember the horrible case of Debrina Kawar. Does anybody even say her name anymore? That woman who was set on fire by that migrant as a result of that. The worst crime I've ever seen committed in the subway system. The governor did the right thing. She sent an additional 250 National Guardsmen, giving us a total of 1,000 National Guardsmen in the subway system, while our mayor, Eric Adams, was telling us it was all a perception. So Governor Hochul has responded. I would tell the President of the United States, since I'm familiar with cities all across America having guardian angels there, if you were going to send the National Guard, you don't need to send them to New York City. There are other cities that could desperately use their help in dealing with the crime crisis.
Thank you, Mr. Sliwa. Mr. Mamdani, how would you respond?
You know, I agree with Police Commissioner Tish in that we do not need the National Guard here in New York City. We do not need them for the purpose of safety, because if it was safety that President Trump was so concerned about, he would send them to the 8 out of 10 states that have the highest levels of crime in this country, but he won't, because they're all run by Republicans. What New Yorkers need is a mayor who can stand up to Donald Trump and actually deliver on that safety. When Donald Trump sent ICE agents on people in Los Angeles, Andrew Cuomo said that New Yorkers need not overreact. That is the furthest answer that New Yorkers are looking for. They are looking for someone who will lead, someone who will say that they will have their back, someone who will actually fight for the people of this city. And that's who I am, because I'm not funded by the same donors that gave us Donald Trump's second term, which isn't something that Andrew Cuomo can say.
Thank you, Mr. Mamdani. Mr.
First, the answer in the subways is not more National Guard. I put National Guard in the subways also. It's more NYPD is the answer. But the National Guard is not, he's not sending in the National Guard to do any real function. It's control, it's power. He's trying to say these Democrats don't know how to run these cities, and it's a political gesture by sending in the National Guard. He has said if the assemblyman is elected, he will take over New York. Forget the National Guard.
But this is
he
not
has
the
said, I'm
question.
going to take the
is,
funds.
if they order the troops to come here, what
Yes.
would you do?
Well, I went through this with him. He sent the National Guard to 20 cities when I was governor. You know what city he didn't send them to? New York. Why? Because I said to him, don't you dare, we don't need it, and he backed down, and he will again.
So that proves a good relationship
Wait a
with the
second.
president.
The president is going to back down to you, Andrew Cuomo. I know you think you're the toughest guy alive, but let me tell you something. You lost your own primary, right? You were rejected by your Democrats.
Why
and
didn't
you have
you
a
send the
difficult
National Guard?
understanding that what the term no is. You're not going to stand up to Donald Trump.
I agree with Curtis.
You're not going to stand up to Donald Trump. Okay. And he can't stand up to Donald Trump, who knocked him right on his toes.
You negotiate with him. You don't fight with him because only the people of New York City will lose.
We do have stand up to negotiate.
We have a follow-up.
I'd like to see a show of hands. Are there any circumstances where any of you would allow the NYPD to cooperate with the National Guard if Trump sent them to New York? Show of hands. Yes? No takers. Okay. Moving on. If history is a guide, National Guard troops in the city could trigger protests. And we have questions for each of you about how you would handle that. So, Mr. Sliwa, you have been arrested for protesting migrant housing. How would your NY in protests as mayor? You have 1 minute.
Well, I have been arrested oftentimes in civil disobedience. That is a great American right. But demonstrations have a time and a place. And it used to be before Bill de Blasio, I know he was your favorite mayor, Joe Mondami, that you'd have to get a permit. There's a time period you were in a structured area. You get a sound permit. It could be turned around in a day. If there was going to be civil disobedience, you discussed it with the police department. And obviously, you had an opportunity of expressing your anger or your outrage at whatever it was that motivated you to sit down in the street, to block traffic or block an egress. Now we have rampaging groups that go running through the streets, that enter all kinds of facilities and violate other people's rights. And there's no one who's willing to stop it. When I'm the mayor, there are rules and regulations. Everybody has the right to demonstrate, but you can't violate other people's rights, or you yourself must be arrested. And I would remove the face coverings. Remove those face coverings. Why are you afraid of identifying who you are as a demonstrator, unless maybe you're an agent provocateur who's been sent in here to cause chaos?
Thank you. Rosarina?
The next question goes to you, Mr. Mamdani. You were arrested for blocking traffic in a pro-Palestinian protest, and you participated in a sit-in at Grand Central. Protesters offered blocked streets, bridges, and hubs like Grand Central. How much of that would you allow as mayor, and what's your line in having the NYPD arrest protesters? You have a minute.
Protest is a part of what makes this city's history what it is. It is a part of the First Amendment. We deserve to have a mayor who stands up for that First Amendment, especially as we have a president that's looking to shred it at each and every opportunity. And we will continue to have protests in this city, as we should, no matter who is the mayor. And the line will be on the question of breaking the law. What we have today, however, is an attempt to intimidate so many who are looking to use that freedom of expression to share their opinions about the city and the world around them. And to be frank with you, what New Yorkers are looking for is someone who can show leadership in City Hall. Because when they don't see that leadership, that's when so many take to the streets. And if you had a leader like Andrew Cuomo, who was telling people not to overreact when they see ICE agents abducting girls as young as 6 years old to deport them, many New Yorkers will take to the streets. We deserve to have a leader who will actually be following through on the values of the city. That's the leader that I'll be.
Mr. Mandani, just a quick follow-up. If you're elected, would you still participate in protests?
No, if I'm elected, I'll be the mayor, and I'll be leading the city from City Hall.
But no participation in protests, right?
The important thing is to lead from City Hall. That's what I'll be doing.
Okay. I hate that smile.
If I may respond, because I believe my name was invoked.
I hate that smile. Brief response, and then I have a question for you.
I dealt with ICE. I stood up with ICE. I had a war with ICE here in New York when I was governor. And I stood them down, and they moved out. What the assemblyman is saying is, He doesn't believe in law and order. He believes in defunding the police, disarming the police, disbanding the police. That's who he is. Abolish jails.
Sorry, I have a question for you. Okay, 15 seconds
very
rebuttal,
quickly.
Mr. Mamdani, and then we do just 15 seconds because we have a question for Mr. Cuomo.
Mr. Cuomo lies again and again and again. I am not running to defund the police. I am running to actually work with the police to deliver public safety. Andrew Cuomo says that he has stood up
How are you going to do that if there's
He
no
has not
police?
said a word about the abductions that are happening right now.
He's referring to a previous comment you made, and we will get back to this. But Mr. Cuomo, a question for you.
It's a comment he made. It's the operative
I said
language.
That. Yes,
yeah,
I understand. I said that. As governor, you put the National Guard on standby during the George Floyd protests. You didn't deploy them. As mayor, talk about how you would balance the right to protest with maintaining order in the streets.
The right to protest. The right to protest is a sacred right. There is no doubt about that. But the law is the law also. And you have New Yorkers now who are afraid in this city. They're afraid of Donald Trump coming, they're afraid of that anarchy, and they're afraid of the anarchy in this city itself. We have to provide public safety that makes New Yorkers feel safe. Demonstration is one thing. Violating the law is something else. Blocking public transit is something else. Stopping students from going to class is something else. Harassment, intimidation, that's a hate crime, that's illegal. Enforce the law. Respect the police. They're not racists, as the assemblyman calls them. They're not a threat to public safety, as he says. They're not anti-queer. They are here to protect New Yorkers, work with them, fortify them.
You know, that's ironic that you say that now,
I'm sorry,
Andrew Cuomo, because when you were governor for 8 years, your parole board released 43 cop killers back into the street.
Okay,
your father, when he was governor, released none. I knew Mario Cuomo. You know Mario Cuomo, Andrew Cuomo. You released cops. Don't say you're pro-police.
Do you want to respond briefly to the comments that Mr. Cuomo raised about things you've said about police? You can do a brief response to that.
I have been clear time and time again that as much as Andrew Cuomo wants to bring up tweets from 2020, which is around the same time that he was sending seniors to their death in nursing homes, I am looking to work with police officers, not to defund the NYPD, looking to ensure that officers can actually do one job when they're signing up to join that department.
But he's
not the many jobs we're asking them to do today.
He was specifically referring to comments you made. We will come back to that, but we're out of time.
Okay, corrupt
candidates
and racist.
We're moving on.
That's what you said. Your words. Your words.
We're moving on. Thank you. Despite record low crime numbers, polls show that crime remains a top concern for New York City voters. The three of you have very different approaches to crime fighting and how to manage the NYPD. We want to get into your plans. So we'll start with this question. It's a two-part question, but it's short. How will you make the city safer? And how will you change the NYPD? You'll have 1 minute. We begin with Mr. Cuomo.
I would add 5,000. Well, let's take a step back. Remember what happened. The far left, the socialists said defund the police, defund the police. They took $1 billion out of the police. The NYPD is now down at one of the lowest levels in modern political history. I would add 5,000 police, put 1,500 in the subways, raise the starting salary because you can't hire them. You can't even fill a class right now.
Yep.
And you have to add additional police officers because the attrition rate is so high. Part of that is going to be saying to the NYPD, I respect you. I don't think you're wicked, as the assemblyman said. I don't think you're corrupt. I don't think you're racists. I value you. I will have your back. I'll be a mayor to work with you. That's how you're going to get the police to apply for the jobs. And then we have to work on the relationship between the community and the police. The police can't police the community. They have to police with the
You're
community.
up next, Mr. Sliwa.
Correct.
This is
That's
amazing.
true.
I'm standing here with my two adversaries, both of whom have threatened to defund the police. You, Andrew Cuomo, during the summer of 2020, you said, if you don't reform police departments, I'm going to defund you. And you certainly said that, Zoran Mamdani. We need 7,000 police. We only have 32,500. The problem in recruiting police, which neither of you are,
I like this guy.
is that
I do too, but he's like
5%. The state, you did nothing when you were governor.
He's better
and
at
here in the city, 2021, the city council and Eric Adams did nothing. They don't have qualified immunity, which you benefited from, Andrew Cuomo. with the 13 lawsuits filed against you for sexual harassment. Tom DiNapoli says we're paying out $60 million. Why? Because you had your qualified immunity as governor, and yet people have stood by as police have lost their insurance that all civil servants have. That's why you can't get recruits in, because they're not insured. I will return their qualified immunity because they need to be protected like other civil servants.
That is not New York State. It's New York City on the qualified insurance, qualified immunity. It's not insurance at all.
You are entitled to free legal counsel, which is what he's referring to.
Yes.
You have spent.
Yes, but it's New York City that has revoked qualified immunity. It's not insurance. It's qualified immunity. It's nothing to do with insurance.
Okay.
So that protected you in all these lawsuits.
And yes, the lawsuits, because there was a report filed. I said it was political. It turned out to be political, and that's why
all 13 women were lying. Come on, Andrew. All 13 women were lying.
After 5 years.
A state trooper too?
Yeah, after 5 years, 5 DAs, 5 years of litigation, I was dropped from the case.
Mr. Mamdani, how will you
once
make?
in a while.
Okay, Mr. Mamdani, how will you make the city safer, and how will you change the NYPD?
Thank you. This is the concern for so many New Yorkers, and I'm proud to have a comprehensive plan to bring new ideas to this city. If you want more of the same, vote for Andrew Cuomo. If you want an actual approach to lower crime, look at our Department of Community Safety. That is something that has been hailed by experts as addressing so many of the pieces of why New Yorkers are not feeling safe today. We will ensure that no longer are police officers asked to do the job of both policing and responding to the mental health crisis. We will have dedicated teams of mental health outreach workers in the top 100 subway stations with the highest levels of the mental health crisis and homelessness. We will ensure that cops can finally go back to the response times they used to have in 2020, closer to 11 minutes, as opposed to the closer to 16 minutes today, because they won't be asked to respond to the 200,000 mental health calls that are coming in through 911 every year. This is evidence-based. It's been successful elsewhere in the country. It's time we deliver it right here in New York City. It's time for a change.
Thank you, Mr. Mamdani.
Zora Mamdani, we already had it. It was called the Homeless Outreach Unit.
I'm sorry, this is not free for all. We have another question for Mr. Mamdani.
Bill de Blasio funded them by $1 billion out of the budget.
Thank you.
The thing is,
Mr. Mamdani, we're going to talk about disciplining police officers. The civilian watchdog that investigates police misconduct regularly recommends discipline for cops accused of wrongdoing, but the police commissioner often overrides them. You want to change that policy so that the board has final say. Please explain to viewers in 30 seconds why you believe the police commissioner should no longer have that final say.
What I've said is that I think it's time to remove much of the politics out of the question of accountability. We have the Civilian Complaint Review Board, which, as you said, studies, assesses, and investigates into complaints of abuse and the violation of the law. And oftentimes, those recommendations are then subject to political pressures and not followed through on. I think New Yorkers deserve a system where they know it won't then be assessed once again, that there's actually more to the recommendation in the investigation that's being done by the CCRB.
Okay, we're wrapping up. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mamdani. Mr. Cuomo, do you believe changes are needed for how officers are disciplined? And are there any powers that you would give up as mayor? You have 30 seconds.
Yeah, I would not remove the police commissioner from the CCRB. I'd leave it with the police commissioner. I think Commissioner Tisch is doing a very good job. I would trust her. The difference between me and the assemblyman is he doesn't like the police. That's why he won't hire more police when everyone else says we need more police. He wants to use social workers on domestic violence calls, which are very dangerous. And he's told you what he thinks. He thinks the police are racist, wicked, corrupt, and a threat to public safety.
Thank you.
Those are his words.
Very quick. Mr. Mamdani, very
the
quick.
thing is,
Andrew
most
Cuomo
of
is
the
a
time,
politician of the
EMTs
past, and
respond
all he
to
can
mental
speak
health
about
crisis.
are the tweets of the past in 2020.
Yeah, you know
Those are
what? Let's take a break on this because they'll be here all night, and
So,
we're only here for a limited amount of time.
EMTs respond to mental health situations. Yes, 911's called, and EMTs are like one of the first responders there prior to police. But how can an individual say like, oh, we need more mental health individuals in subways and bus stations and things like that? A, where's that money going to come from? And then secondly, the police department in New York City, I think they're understaffed by like thousands of people. We see this in like Oakland. the chief of police in Oakland just recently resigned. Not, I don't know where he's going, but because he resigned, it's not necessarily the fact that some of these police officers are leaving the force. They're just leaving to other areas where they can be more valued and get paid more. You know, that I think that's the biggest thing. I think they're very underpaid, especially in cities, you know, some cities in Nevada, New York, Chicago, all these areas. And then they don't have the backing from prosecutors. And they just, those individuals that, you know, they go on these calls for, they just end up back in the streets, which is wild. So that doesn't necessarily change the problem. And then having mental health individuals in subways, what are they going to do? Just sit there all day and have like a kiosk of mental health? And then somebody is going to say like, oh, I'm having a mental health crisis. I don't think people who are, you know, have suicide ideations and, you know, that are high on drugs, like often go seek help on their own, you know, like they need somebody else to enforce that. So it's just like where are these guys coming from? Where's Mamdani coming from saying that, oh, we got to have more people in the subways with mental health? Like what are you going to do? Like, is it going to be like the mall? Going to have a kiosk? It's like, oh, mental health services come. Like, no, a drug addict, a homeless person isn't going to be, they're going to waste more time trying to, you know, work with the homeless person on that situation than anything. The homeless person is just going to burn their time and money. That's just my thought.
Yeah. Nah, I agree. And not only that, like what mental health is really gonna do and how are they gonna respond? Like I don't like, are they gonna have their own page, like pagers? So it's like, we need it right now, 911, it's emergency, you gotta go to this scene, you know, and help this person. And that's going to be overwhelming if they're just going to be continuously using the mental health as police officers or, I don't know, healthcare workers. Then they're going to get burned out.
For sure. EMTs are burnt out too, you know, because EMTs, you know, I think the base pay for an EMT, you know, the paramedic, I think their base pay is like 45 grand or something like that starting, right? Excluding overtime and stuff, but they got to deal with like reoccurring issues from individuals that do have, you know, maybe their medical coverage lapsed, maybe they're on Medicare or Medicaid, and their medical coverage lapsed for the month, so they're short on pills or whatever the scenario is, so they have an episode. The EMTs got to deal with that, you know. That's what they're there for, not the police.
Yeah, I mean, even if the police shows up and it's a mental health case, like,
what are they gonna do?
Yeah, like they're gonna be like, hold on, wait a minute, we're gonna call for someone to come and help you, okay? Like
they're not trained to adequately say, hey, you know, this person has schizophrenia, but the EMTs, you know, the EMTs frequently see the same reoccurring homeless people, the same reoccurring episodes and stuff like that. So they know almost these people, these patients. It's wild. You know, and the police, they're just gonna, like, you know, if a person's schizophrenic or whatever the scenario is, they're gonna arrest them. But a lot of this also, like claiming, oh, mental health, all this other crap. Yes, there's scenarios of that, but not enough to be circulating and saying that it's just like this mental health thing. Like, yo, like these people need to be locked up, man.
Yeah, it's really bad. We had something. I'm trying to find this report. I reported on it yesterday of a mental health incident where she killed her baby, or one month-old baby, and threw the baby in the water, and the baby drowned. And she had been requesting for a psychiatrist, mental health, and she was never provided. And here it is, innocent baby passed away. I'm gonna bring this story up. Give me 1 second, because I got two stories on that. I got the one with that baby, and then I also have the 12-year-old that passed. Well, was 11, turned 12 while she was dead. Not too far from where I live. I don't want to give out my location or anything, but this place is like less than half an hour. And I'm thinking about covering that case and probably going to the courthouse myself and showing you guys what, like, I was going to do it live from there. And if you cover that story on Tyson, if you really want to cover that story, I'll take you some B-roll and I can send it to you.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to, if you like, we'll talk about it after.
Yeah.
So,
and John says, I had asked for mental health help and they never provided it. And that's the other thing too. You know, mental health providers, it's so slow. Like, I used to own a mental health clinic out here, and like to get referrals from, like, that's why I referred in from my housing units, directly from my housing units into the clinic, because otherwise it would have been so slow for individuals to get the actual help that they needed. It's wild, because there's people that actually need help that don't get the help that's needed, or they don't have the quote unquote like right insurance to cover their mental health, which is wild.
Yeah,
it's an
which is
insurance.
ridiculous. That does make no sense. Like, especially with mental health issues, and if they have a ongoing case of mental health issues, they should be expedited. They should not be having to go through hoops and hurdles. You know what I mean? All right, so I got the story here with the lady with the mental health breakdown here. Give me 1 sec. Here we go.
A mother in Washington, Connecticut, facing murder charges after police say
Not
she
far
killed
from
her
where I live.
one-month-old baby son in June.
Yeah, she was officially arrested this week.
That
News
news
8
anchor
Zuri
looks like
Hoffman
Lady
joins us
Gaga.
live from Washington with more on what police are saying about this case. Zuri.
Well, guys, we learned from court documents today that Sadie Fleming had been dealing with mental health issues for years now. She was set to get treatment just one day after, police say she murdered her son.
And I just couldn't believe it.
Thurber Chatfield can't recall anything like it happening in this rural Litchfield community.
Mortified, I mean, in a small town like this.
27-year-old Sadie Fleming now being charged with killing her month-old son, Hudson, back in June. According to court documents, Fleming was living in this apartment complex with her son and another woman. That housemate allegedly told police that Sadie had been dealing with mental health issues since 2019. On June 8th, the housemaid woke up to find her front door open. Sadie and Hudson nowhere to be found. That triggered a silver alert and search crews to head out. The affidavit reveals police found Sadie with her clothes soaking wet, and her mental status appeared to be altered. Police say they asked Sadie where her baby was multiple times. Sadie responded, "What baby?" About an hour later, police located Hudson at Mallory Brook. The document states Hudson had no pulse and was unresponsive. Hudson was lying supine and was cold to the touch. Court documents also reveal that Sadie allegedly told detectives she thought people were chasing after her and were trying to kill her. And back on June 2nd, Sadie requested an unplanned telehealth appointment because she was, quote, having some paranoia again, feeling manic, irritable. Sadie requested to be prescribed medication. However, it was not advised by Dr. Blank because it is not safe while breastfeeding. She had an in-person appointment set for June 9th, just one day after Hudson's death.
And getting treatment sooner rather than later is really the important piece.
Doctors say there are safe mental health treatments in both pregnancy and postpartum women experiencing issues, and resources for providers too, allowing moms to get the help they need fast.
We do a free provider-to-provider consultation, and we can also provide resources to connect patients with the appropriate treatment.
Now, we just received a statement from the Department of Children and Families about this case. We got that statement within the last couple of minutes. We want to show it to you. It reads in part, following the arrest of the child's mother, we can confirm the department conducted a joint investigation with the state police after being notified of the fatality. Prior to this report, the department was involved with the family for a little over a month following the birth of the child. The case was subsequently closed as the mother was receiving wraparound services. Hudson's cause of death is listed as a drowning. Fleming is being held on $5 million bond. Live in Washington, I'm Zuri Hoffman, News 8.
Wow. That just happened a few days ago. And then
she was having some, I don't know her entire situation, but it sounds like she was having some postpartum situation. And where's the baby daddy at?
And she had mental health issues since 2019. It's like,
yeah. And where's the baby daddy?
Yeah. Where's the family?
Yeah.
Knowing that she has mental health issues.
Yeah. And she wasn't, it sounds to me like she wasn't in a very stable situation. Mm-hmm. Living with a roommate in a particular home. These are all like leading causes of like mental health, right? Like not having Maslow's hierarchy of needs met, right? Like basic housing, shelter, and all this stuff. And then they did mention that she was in wraparound services, so the housing unit probably was paid for through her providers.
Mm-hmm. Wild. Yeah, it's wild. And I got another story here that's even wilder. And this is even more disturbing than anything. And this one I'm definitely going to cover. I am going to take B-roll for you, Tyson. We're gonna, like I said, I'm gonna talk about it with you because I'm gonna go to the courthouse. I'm gonna go to the location where this little girl passed away, where she passed away, and then where they found her. And we'll talk about that later. But we're gonna take a look at this story now. These are the three clowns.
Oh, bro, homie on the far right looks like he does meth.
No, he got beat up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he got a black eye. I think they found out about it and they beat him up. Okay. Before he went to court, before they arrested him.
3 people arrested in the death of a 12-year-old New Britain girl were in court today.
Good evening. The remains of 12-year-old Jacqueline Torres Garcia were found outside an abandoned building on Clark Street in New Britain last week.
Her mother, her aunt, and her mother's boyfriend are facing charges.
We have team coverage for you tonight. News 8's Zuri Hoffman will have more details on the investigation into this horrible death.
But first, News 8's Jeff Dedarian joins us with details on what happened in court today. Jeff.
Hey there, guys. Yeah, this is the vacant house behind me where police say little Jacqueline Garcia was found inside in a plastic container. Today in court, by my count, there were at least 13 state troopers and marshals keeping an eye on things. Family and friends packed the courtroom. Emotions erupted. Despite a warning from the judge to remain quiet, it became clear the anger overflowing.
Get out of here. Get out of the courtroom. Leave the courtroom now.
That happening after the trio brought in Jacqueline's mother, Carla Garcia, charged with murder and cruelty. Bond set, $5 million. Jacqueline Garcia, aunt of the victim, charged with cruelty, $1 million bond. And the boyfriend of the mother, Jonathan Nanita, facing murder and a charge of improperly disposing of a body. He was also held on $5 million bond. Police say 12-year-old Jacqueline, first abused and then starved, probably died in the fall of 2024.
There's no reason.
What? Strangers and people who knew young Jacqueline continue to come here asking why.
I have 8 kids. And if I couldn't handle them, I give it to somebody that can. I will never do this to my kids.
And we've learned one of the 3 arrested before, the aunt, Jacqueline Garcia, found guilty before of risk of an injury to a child in 2024. Questions still persist about the mom. What did you think when you heard what police say happened to that little girl?
I was in shock. I called my mom right away and I was telling her about it. And I'm like, I just don't know how someone, me being as a mom, could ever do that to their child.
She's a horrible person.
She's a horrible mom.
Horrible mom, horrible person.
She's not a mother.
Yeah, you're definitely not a mother when doing all that stuff. Wow.
All right, no cause of death yet from the medical examiner. All 3 files for the suspects charged have been sealed for now.
All right. Well,
So fall of 2024.
Yep. A whole year. And I was covering this story yesterday. The mother took the daughter out of school from public schools and wanted to homeschool her. And during that transition, I think she had killed her daughter and then decided to take her homeschooling. And then they never followed, like no one inspected, nobody went to the house to check on her. And this girl has been deceased for almost a year. And she was placed in a container and just left in a plastic container in a basement, and then was moved to a different location and was left behind. Someone just went in the back and just opened curiosity. They opened it, like the police. They had a call. They went and they checked and discovered the body. I'm surprised this news is not national.
How were there any previous convictions on that mom? I know that there was some on the aunt, but
I believe
that's horrible.
Let me see.
Oh, he left. It's horrible. Let me see. 12-year-old. He accidentally clicked out. Hold on. Let me see. 12-year-old.
My bad. It dropped off for a second.
Oh, it's all good.
We still got those creepies. The internet, not the internet, but StreamYard's doing some stuff.
They're doing some. They got some cool stuff. They got some really, really great updates. I'm really, every time I log on, it seems like they have some really good updates
every day.
12-year-old girl whose remains were found last week in a storage bin outside an abandoned home. 29-year-old Carla Garcia, $5 million bond. We already talked about that. Carla Garcia, 28-year sister. So her sister Jacqueline Garcia was also arrested, and Carla's boyfriend, 30-year-old Jonathan Nanita, who authorities believe was the person seen dropping off several items of a large storage bin at a home, which spurred the 911 call last week on Monday.
Nope.
Sick.
Very, very, very sick.
And one of the residents made a clear, obviously crystal clear message there saying, yo, if you cannot handle the child, just give it to somebody that can,
Yeah, give it to somebody who, I'm pretty sure she was a very beautiful little girl. She wasn't like a bad, she didn't look like a bad girl. She was like really put together pretty well. I'm just so disturbed that the family, as close as they say that they was not close enough to help, and be there for this little girl. It is very disturbing. I got another story here on it. This is from my aunt. I know you gotta get going soon.
Oh, you're good.
Let's see here.
That's wild, man. And why was she still in that crop top? They couldn't give her something to hide her little torta?
Super wild.
Was totally honest. Exclusive tonight, we're hearing from a family member of Jacqueline Torres, the girl whose remains were found in New Britain last week. Her own mother arrested for her murder. Good evening, and thanks for joining us tonight for Eyewitness News at 6. I'm Erin Connolly.
Hi, everybody. I'm Stephanie Simone. The heartbreaking developments in this case continue. Yaxi Garcia, the aunt to both Jacqueline and her mother, is now sharing intimate details about the family.
And your reporter Owen Kingsley sat down exclusively with her. He is joining us now live in New Britain. Owen.
A week since this memorial right behind me outside of the New Britain home where Jacqueline Torres' remains were found. When this memorial began, now overflowing with balloons and trinkets from her father and mother.
What police revealed to us is that she was starved and abused.
Right.
What goes through your heart as a family member?
Disgusted. Disgusted. I'm thinking, what was this little girl thinking? Her last moments, how fearful she was.
In 1 week since the discovery of Jacqueline Torres' remains, we've learned she likely died about a year ago, and her mother, Carla Garcia, is accused of hiding her body since then. Yaxi Garcia is only 11 years older than her niece, Carla. She says she helped raise her, as well as Carla's sister, Jacqueline Garcia. She met Jonathan Nanita years ago when they began dating. She had heard from family that Jonathan had abused Carla.
He was beating on her, doing some crazy stuff to her.
Yaxi Garcia says Jacqueline Torres was largely raised by her father's side of the family, but Carla gained custody of her about 3 years ago, bringing her into a household with her and Jonathan.
When I found out that Carla had custody of Mimi, my jaw dropped, and I said, how?
Despite having gone on family vacations with one another, the family drifted apart in recent years. And Yaxi says Carla didn't let many people into Jacqueline Torres' life.
Sadly, I just found 2 pictures in my phone. She wasn't around our family.
Between that, being removed from New Britain schools, and Jacqueline's father moving out of state, Yaxi says that's how she believes the girl's disappearance went unnoticed since her death about a year ago.
I would have definitely asked questions. I would have made phone calls. I would have done anything that was in my power to find out what was going on.
On Tuesday, Carla and her sister Jacqueline, as well as her boyfriend Jonathan, all made their first appearances in court.
Those are not my nieces. Those are not the girls that I raised. They look crazy, like.
Yaxi is the one who shouted from the gallery while Jonathan stood before a judge.
Get out of here. Get out of the courtroom.
Yes, that was me. Even if Carla or Jacqueline was the one who came out last, I was still going to have the same reaction that I had.
Oh, she was the one that cursed them out.
You're a baby killer. You're a pig. You're disgusting. I hope you get what you deserve.
I got news for you, and this is not good news. Connecticut does not have the death sentence, and the only thing that they could get, the maximum, is life in prison without parole.
That's, you know what? That's where our system falls short, because now they're going to be in the penitentiary under the taxpayer dollar, which is absolutely ridiculous to me. Absolutely ridiculous to me.
For the rest of their life.
And it makes more sense now. I thought the guy was the dad, but he wasn't the dad.
No.
So this is why this little girl looked so well put together, because she was raised by her father. And if you look back at those photos, the father looks well put together. And he probably realized that this woman is crazy. And then she got together with another crazy dude
and won back custody of her daughter. That which shouldn't have happened.
And that's the other failure of the system too. You know, especially with parental co-parenting parental situations. That she was able to maintain custody. And secondly, you know, shame on the father I'm just being transparent here. Shame on the father for leaving out of state and leaving his girl behind, like his daughter behind. You know, like you suck it up and you do whatever you got to do to live close to your daughter, you know, or your kids. You don't leave out of state if you know that your ex lady or your baby mom is crazy, you know?
Yeah, like that shit crazy, because that area is crazy too. I would never live. I have family that lives in New Britain. I'm gonna do a drive-by so you guys can see. I'll put it on video. But I also wanted to show you this video here.
Questions about the death of a 12-year-old girl. Today, we learned police in Farmington searched a home on Wellington in connection to the case of Jacqueline Torres Garcia. Police say she was allegedly killed last year in Farmington, but her remains were not found until last week in New Britain. 3 people are now behind bars in connection to this case, including her mother, Carla Garcia, and Carla's boyfriend, Jonathan Nanita, both charged with murder. The girl's aunt is charged with child cruelty.
And the tragic death of this young girl has raised more questions about homeschooling. Jacqueline was pulled out of school because her mother said she was going to educate her at home.
This case and a few others are once again pushing lawmakers to find a way to try to protect children. Your chief political reporter, Susan Raff, live at the state capitol in Hartford with this. Susan.
Stephanie, lawmakers have had public hearings here at the state capitol in Hartford, and those who support homeschool and homeschoolers have shown up. In fact, they have been a very vocal crowd. They do not want to see lawmakers take away their rights. However, lawmakers are telling us they don't want to take away their rights, but they want more checks and balances. The death of 12-year-old Jacqueline is an unimaginable tragedy. Police say she was abused and neglected by her own family. Her body was kept in the basement of her Farmington home. Then her remains were taken in a plastic container and left in the back of an abandoned home in New Britain. No one reported her missing for a year. And on the first day of 6th grade, her mother pulled her out of school.
I want to work again with the legislature to see how we can do a better job of making sure some of these kids that aren't going to school every day.
Jacqueline was not in the public school system. Her mother, police say, said she planned to homeschool her. Just last year, there was another tragic case involving a Waterbury youth. After 20 years in captivity, he set his room on fire.
I don't live far from there either.
Police found him severely emaciated, weighing only 68 pounds. His stepmother pulled him out of school in 4th grade, saying she wanted to homeschool him. This latest tragedy in New Britain and the one earlier or last year has only reignited the debate over homeschooling. And coming up on Eyewitness News at 6, lawmakers on both sides react to what's happening, and those who support homeschooling, all of them weigh in on what they feel should happen. Your chief political reporter, Susan Raff, Channel 3, live at the state capitol.
All right, Susan, thank you. And tonight.
That's just weird, dude.
So my question is, okay, it was a year. Did like, I don't know the full details of this case, but it was a year. So you're telling me that the father who moved out of state didn't talk to his daughter for a year and didn't find that suspicious? You know what I'm saying?
They did, like, let me talk to my daughter. Let me listen to
like, hey, happy birthday, Merry Christmas.
Yes.
You know, let me FaceTime her. You know, so
nothing.
You know, it sounds like the father was super disconnected in this situation now also, or maybe, I don't know, man, like maybe he got really burned during the custody trial or whatever. I don't know, but it's super suspect to me that the father didn't even, you know, raise any alarms to say, hey, where's my kid? Let me FaceTime my kid.
Yeah, I mean, even Easter, because this is like, it seems like they're a Spanish family. They look Puerto Rican. I'm just gonna let you know right now. I believe because Torres, that last name is very Puerto Rican. So, and that area in New Britain, Connecticut, is Puerto Rican. So, as a Puerto Rican, you will call to check on Three Kings. What is the Three Kings? When they celebrate Three Kings, Puerto Ricans, they celebrate that, and Easter, of course, Valentine's Day, all those holidays. They call and they check up and they send little gifts and so forth. Because I came from a broken family too. Like my dad and my mom like divorced when I was 10.
Yeah, but bro, like my dad, like same. Like I was 3, but my dad still called. You know, we didn't have cell phones, but my dad still called and checked on me.
Well, mine's didn't. Mine's disappeared for like a good long time, and that was the fucked up part. So I still hold them to it. But like, I could understand when they disappear, right? But I don't really understand because like you miss all these holidays, birthdays, Christmas, and you just like I've been through it, so I know like what like the mother must have been really sour to him and took the custody of the child and then and the father was just so disgusted and he just left. And he's like, fuck it. It's just, it hurts too much and I don't want to be in the same state and have to deal with this. Like, I want to get out of here, so.
And I know some, I have some friends who their baby mamas are pretty vindictive and
Mhm.
they're like, hey, let me, talk to the kid. Oh, he doesn't want to talk to you, but they don't even put effort into it, like the baby mama doesn't even put effort into it.
Mhm.
And they act like, oh, he doesn't want to talk to you. And then they talk bad about the parents. So then it creates this whole vicious cycle.
Hmm. Yeah. I'm trying to put myself in the position of that little girl, and what she went through. And she went through some crazy shit, man. Like it's not even nice to even say it on here. That's what she went through, and I can't believe a whole year and the system didn't even check up on her. You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand it. I don't understand. And that's here in Connecticut, and like Connecticut has a lot of money. They have a surplus. We're not really in a deficit, because they do sell a lot of marijuana here, and they tax the hell out of it, and they have a lot of money. And why is that money not being like helped or passed around to mental health and facilities that check up on these children? Because this girl was only 12 years old. Why no clinics, no dentist, no call to, hey, it's time for her appointment, can you bring her in? Like they do that shit to me, and
Yeah.
I'm fuck.
Yep. But like John had said something in the comment section. Shout out to John. But I know some cases of individuals that were getting abused as well, and when they were younger, our age, and
Mhm.
the police didn't believe that the kid was getting abused. So you got to think back. This was like late '80s, early '90s. The kid was getting abused.
Mhm.
Police didn't believe it because they lived in a nice area or the parents were nice. Blah blah blah. So the police just watched it
Mhm.
under the table. It's wild.
Yeah. What's just wild to me is like I live close to this place. I have family that lives there in New Britain. I know that city very, very well. And nobody noticed that little girl just disappear and not was ever seen like for a while. Like I don't know. Like it's just I don't know, man. It's just something's not right. Like there's more to this story. This story has legs.
Yeah, the mom. I don't know, man. The mom's probably crazy, man.
Dude, I'm telling you, Tyson. When I finish this, I'm gonna hit you up. Like after you, actually, when you finish your school stuff,
Yep.
your class, because you gotta leave soon.
Yep.
Hit me up because we gotta talk.
Yeah, and John, you're right, man. Like, and they like it is a systematic situation because the parents say, well, if you tell anybody about this, you know what's going to happen to you.
Yeah, yeah, they do
Or
that. They threaten you.
yeah,
Yeah, I
or
know.
like,
I've been
hey,
through
this
it.
is what. No, you fell down the stairs, remember? Or this type of BS.
Mm-hmm.
That to me, man. Like honestly, unfortunately, these folks are going to be locked up.
But You know that
Not
lady in the middle, the aunt,
aunt.
I guess.
Yeah.
She had a case where she beat up her kid, and the kid came into the hospital with broken bones and bruises throughout the body.
That reminds me, did they ever figure out where that little baby Emmanuel went?
No, but the parents got charged today, guilty of second-degree murder.
Good.
I mean, I could like, yeah,
Good.
I saw that. I just saw that on my timeline that
Good.
they pleaded guilty, but that doesn't. I want to know where the fuck is the baby, right? I believe they dumped the baby out into the mountain area, and some animal came and got it, and that baby's not going to be found because the wildlife got to it.
Yep.
And I'm thinking, and I'm feeling wolves.
Yeah, because it was a small baby.
Yeah,
It
they'll
was like,
eat that. They'll
how
eat
was
it.
it? 2 years old, something like that.
Yep.
So tiny, like a small
Yeah.
little chihuahua.
Yeah, little baby.
Yeah.
Crazy times, man. Crazy
Yeah,
times
like
I'm living in.
the kid stuff, man. The kid stuff really pisses me off, man, because like if you don't feel like you're fit to be a good parent, or you don't feel like you're fit, like, dude, do the right thing, and give it to somebody that can. Or maybe you're not right in the head or right, whatever, like give it to somebody that can,
Mm-hmm.
because you just ruined somebody's, like, this kid's life, like you don't know what this kid could have been, and it
Mm-hmm.
sucks, man. Like, people like this, man. And then they get these bull crap sentences in some
Mm-hmm.
scenarios, 20 years, like real
Mm-hmm.
soft sentences, and I'm like,
Yeah.
dude, like, people that do less stuff, like, let's say drug possessions, get 10 years, I'm just like,
Mhm.
what is up with the system sometimes?
Yeah, the system is a mess, and like the story that we saw also, along with what we saw with the 12-year-old, we saw the one from New Brit, actually from Waterbury, the gentleman that she took him out of school from in the fourth grade and so forth, and she kept him in the house and tortured him for over, I guess, like 2 decades, and finally the individual sparked a fire in his room to cause the fire department to come out, and that's how they found him, and he was only weighing like 68 pounds.
Man, it reminds me of the story. I don't remember. Ah, man, this was a while ago. This is a story from a while ago. I think it was called the Lady in the Window. So there was this, I don't remember. I think I did something on it when I was in school, but it was this little girl in the window. And this little girl would always peek out of the attic window, and she was living in the attic up until she was like 8 years old, starved.
Yeah, there's a
Light,
movie.
oh, okay, light deprived, and then when the
Mhm.
police came, she was covered in roaches and all.
Mhm.
Man,
There's a movie. I forgot the name of it. Damn, and it's one of the movies I hate. I saw it when I was little, and it really like scared the shit out of me. Where the mother had her daughter, and the mother, the kid, the daughter had her kids, and she had, like, I guess, had a divorce and stuff, and she moved back to the house, but the grandmother didn't want the kids around and stuff like that, so they put them in the basement, and every day the grandmother would come up and bring them food and then some cookies, and then she would put poison in the cookies, and,
wow.
and yeah, and killed the little boy because they were eating the poison, and the mother didn't really give a shit and stuff, and it's a creepy movie. It's Flowers something in the Attic. I think Flowers in the Attic is the name of the movie.
Wow. Yeah,
um
I just pulled up the article. It happened in, looks like this happened in Florida. 10-year-old, it happened in 2007. They found her in 2007. Yeah. I guess she turned 19 in 2007 or 2000. Let me see when this article was. 2017, she turned 19. The girl in the window, Tampa Bay News. Didn't have any communication, so her speech was impaired. Sad, man.
Let me double check.
For 5 years. What scumbags? Once they're out of school, people lost track because no more safe space. I'm just running through the comments, Rick.
But this was I believe it was Flowers in the Attic or something. I know it was in the. I know the whole movie. I hated the movie. That's why I probably didn't want to remember the name of the damn movie. Something. I know it's something in the attic.
Listen, this dirty diapers piled up in the room must have been 4 feet high. That is, bro, those people need to be on a wood post. Public execution style. Allegedly for YouTube. I don't want to condone any violence on your channel. So
no. But I did find the movie. It is called Flowers in the Attic. Yeah, I was right, Andrea. We got it. Thank you. It's an '87 movie. You can watch it on Tubi.
Yeah,
you can watch it free on Tubi.
VC Andrews, I think. Who put it in the chat? Andrea put it in the chat. VC Andrews, Flowers in the Attic.
Hey, yeah, thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah, I remember the name of it. I was like, I hated that movie because I remember when the grandmother was so evil and she was like, she treated those kids bad and she, I don't know, it's just such a weird fucking movie and
I can't watch movies like that, man. It gets me super pissed off, man. It gets me real mad. Same thing like when I watch even that movie oh man, I can't think of that movie by Angel Studios where they were showing the kids getting kidnapped.
Mm-hmm.
It was a tough watch. Like kids stuff is tough watch for me.
Yeah, that's when I used to work in the hospital. I had to deal with that stuff and with the kids, and when the kids used to pass away, it was really tough because I had to process their bodies. So it was just it makes you sick, but it's like it's a job that I had to do. Man, that energy
Kimberly Sullivan. Yeah, same, John. Like, yeah, like it's the sound of freedom. The sound of freedom, man. Like when I saw them like abduct kids, man.
That's a good movie.
Yeah, it is. It is a good movie, but I've only watched it once, and once is good enough. Because I get mad, man. Like I want to like Rambo some of these people that abduct these kids,
And it's still ongoing. They still doing that shit,
Yeah.
Like it's an ongoing, like it's an ongoing problem.
The mom ran off with her cousins and had kids, then returned back to her mom's house.
Right on.
Yeah, these situations make me pissed off, man. Yeah, I'll actually. Thanks for bringing that story up to my attention, man. Because like, that should be something that should be more national, like that baby Emmanuel thing was,
Well, like I said, I'm gonna do some B-roll for you, and I'm gonna send it out to you,
Well,
and then you put
just
it.
like that, that 14-year-old girl that was found in the Tesla trunk.
Yeah,
Like
from that
you know,
rapper.
like that. David,
Not
I think
rapper.
his name.
Yeah, David, but he spelled it weird.
Yeah.
I don't know about that dude, but I just know that he should not be out loose.
No, and he should not be dating a 12-year-old, man. Like the parents knew that she
12
or 14, whatever she body identified as 15
She was
years old.
young.
Yeah, so 14 years old. They said the last time that they saw her, she had Hello Kitty slippers on. Like David is like a 28-year-old, 30-year-old guy. Why are you dating a 14-year-old girl?
That's
Like
crazy.
what is wrong with this dude to date a girl wearing Hello Kitty? And the parents said, "Oh, it's cool." Like, what? No.
Yeah, that's not cool at all. I have issues with that too because I had problems with that, and I have a story about that. But and it happens more than often where older adults go after younger girls,
It's sick.
and it's big time, and it's like 10 years difference in age, where your father was 25 and your mother was 15.
Yeah. So, okay. It's different. Okay, the age gap there is 10 years, right? It's different when you're 30 and 40 or 40 and 50, at least in my opinion. But not when you're
Or even 30, 20, and 25, like 30, you know, 30s and 20s. I mean, it's still a little weird, but it's like, okay, but not,
teen.
you know,
Like when you
yeah.
gotta say teen. Oh, my kid's 15 and you're 27. Like what? What do you even talk about?
No, it's just, it happens more often than we even.
John's right. He says the reason it's not national is because people don't want to talk about it. It meant that there was abuse and they were abusive. And I agree. You know what? They don't really talk about stuff like this. You know,
No,
it gets hit really quick, and then it gets because what you the news stuff that you pulled up was local news. You know, it wasn't national.
Nope, it's local.
So,
and I live in a very blue state, and they don't want to make this too much noise, but I think it's going to make a booming sound across the nation because I'm going to go there, and I'm gonna be live and show you guys exactly what the fuck, like crazy. And I'll take some blue. Her favorite color was blue, so I'll take her some blue candles.
Oh, that's cool, man.
Yeah, I'll take 12 of them because that's the number. So I'll take 12 of them. I'm gonna do that tomorrow.
Oh, you're heading out there tomorrow?
Hell yeah, I'm gonna jump right on it, man. It's not far, and it's touching me a certain way, and I feel like the nation needs to be more in tune into the story because it's very disturbing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, cool, man.
All right, Tyson.
But, bro, like, thank you for this, and then, yeah, man, I'll catch you next week. But I'll ping you after I'm done with my class.
All right.
All right.
We'll
Thanks, chat. Good night, Steph. Good night, everybody. Chat soon.
Good night, everyone.
All right.
All right, Tyson.
All right. Later.
And ta-da. What a great show, right? We had a great time. Good conversation. That story really pissed me off. I'm like, bitch, I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna go buy the candles tomorrow. I'm gonna see if they have 12. I may have to go to two other stores, probably grab them. But I know they do have that color blue because their blue, it was her favorite color. So I wanted to take her the candles and light them there. And then definitely gonna go out to the courthouse on November 14th. I don't know the time yet, and they're gonna start the proceedings there. But I'll be out there. I'll try to be out there early in the morning to at least show you guys. Look, this is the courthouse. Look at all the people, and yeah, I need to just figure out the time on that. That case needs to be blown up. And the thing is that there's no death penalty here in Connecticut. No, like I said, the only thing you could get is the maximum that they get is life in prison without parole. That's it. And they gotta live their whole lives behind bars. That's not right. I say fry those bitches. I say fry those fish. Fry them like fish. Fry those motherfuckers. They don't deserve to live. If that little girl suffered and tortured, and the energy that I feel inside, oh man, this is really bad. It's really bad. Let's take a look at this story real quick, and then I could catch up with the chat.
First, a neighbor of the mother charged in her daughter's murder in New Britain opens up to NBC Connecticut. It's a story you'll only see on one station. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Keisha Grant.
And I'm Mike Heideck. 3 people, including that 12-year-old girl's mother, are now facing charges in this case. And for the first time, we're hearing from a neighbor who lived below the family.
NBC Connecticut's Jane Chaco sat down with her to hear about the days and conversations leading up to that mother's arrest.
I spoke with Kimberly White. She says her interactions with the mother, Carla Garcia, were brief, but they started to talk a bit more once her daughter's remains were found in New Britain last week. Hours before Garcia was arrested, White says Garcia told her she didn't do what she's accused of.
I would have never thought from her personality that she was even capable of doing something so horrific.
Kimberly White says she lives a floor below Carla Garcia, the mother of 12-year-old Jacqueline Torres Garcia. White says she met Garcia when she moved into the building in April. Soon after, their kids became playmates.
Her daughter, that is still currently alive, and my son were really good friends, like bread and butter. She was always trying to come over here. He was always trying to go upstairs.
She says she was friendly with Garcia, but the two didn't talk much. When human remains of a girl were discovered on Clark Street in New Britain last week, White says she heard Garcia could be involved. The two were talking about doing an episode on White's podcast when Garcia sent her a text message that NBC Connecticut obtained a copy of. It read in part, quote, "I didn't put my daughter in that container and throw her like she's a piece of trash. I am grieving." We then verified Garcia's phone number with a family member.
She didn't seem like a monster. She seemed like a high-spirited young lady. I'm 45. She's way younger than me. You know, so I felt like the need mom mode kicked in, like, let me help you.
White says she saw Garcia on Sunday, a few hours before she was arrested. Garcia was charged with murder and conspiracy to commit murder in the death of her 12-year-old daughter. Her boyfriend and sister were also charged in the case.
It's just disturbing, it's heartbreaking, you know, so many words to describe what happened.
We reached out to Garcia's public defender for a comment and have not heard back yet. Police have said Garcia's other children are in the custody of the Department of Children and Families. In New Britain, Jane Chaco, NBC Connecticut News.
I'm getting some information here. I'm just writing some stuff down, taking some notes. But the little girl's name, her name was Jacqueline Torres Garcia. They used to call her Mimi. She passed away at the age of 11. They saying 12 now. They're saying 12, because that's when they discovered her. She would have been 12. But I have a feeling she has been dead for over a year, way over a year. And she was 11 when she passed away. And I'm going to take Mimi some candles. I got to just double check. I got to get the address, which it's not going to be hard to do. And tomorrow morning I'll go in and get the candles. You see, I love candles. It's great energy. It's strong energy, and I'm gonna light them up, and I'm gonna put all 12 of them together. I'm not gonna separate them. No, I'm just gonna put them all together, and probably have someone light it for me because my back is fucked up and I'm not bending over. So I'll definitely have someone light them up for me. It's sad, man. That's really sad news, and that should be national news. That's the craziness. I'm getting it from local news. You know, everything here is local, so within the state of Connecticut. You know, but I want to take a look at the story. This is another story, based on that. So let's watch this together.
I-Team continues to ask questions in the tragic death of 12-year-old Jacqueline Torres. Her death has reignited the debate about Connecticut's lack of homeschooling regulations and the work of the Department of Children and Families.
As the I-Team started looking into how Connecticut compares to other states, one advocate tells your chief
Yeah, Miss, I can see you too, Jonathan. I'm glad you're back.
The community is being wrongly accused.
I hope you get better.
She joins us now with that story. Sam.
A recent legislative report found Connecticut has little to no regulation when it comes to homeschooling, and the requirements that do exist are more voluntary than mandatory. Farmington police say Jacqueline Torres was reportedly homeschooled. The New Britain School District says Torres' mother, Carla Garcia, filled out an intent to homeschool form last August. But some say homeschooling is inappropriately getting blamed. On the state judicial website, Jacqueline Torres' mother, Carla Garcia, is charged with 7 crimes, including the murder of her daughter. The date of those crimes listed as June 21st, 2024. New Britain superintendent says Jacqueline was withdrawn from school on August 26, 2024, 2 months later.
It would appear on the face of these facts that the abuse, definitely, and the murder happened prior to the date of withdrawal.
That's attorney Deborah Stevenson, founder of the National Home Education
That's what I
Legal
thought,
Defense.
too. So to argue, this is a reason why we have to regulate homeschooling is nonsensical.
When asked about the June 21st date, Farmington police say it's just the beginning of a date range in which they believe the crime may have occurred. Police still suspect the murder likely happened in the fall of 2024, but say Jacqueline suffered prolonged abuse and neglect. Connecticut is one of 13 states that has little to no regulation related to homeschooling. The state's child advocate tells us Connecticut is the only New England state where a person can simply notify the district they are withdrawing their child for homeschooling and do nothing more. Every other New England state requires some form of annual evaluation or assessment.
I think the concern is that some people could file an intent to homeschool, never actually homeschool, but instead use that as a cover for potential abuse.
That's not the case we're talking about, okay? What we are talking about today is a case in which, again, this child was enrolled in the public school for kindergarten through 6th grade, if we can believe the superintendent. The abuse and neglect happened while she was enrolled, according to the website of the aunt's charges.
Jacqueline's aunt, Jacqueline Garcia, was also charged in the case, with the state listing her date of offense as June 1st, 2024. We asked the New Britain School District if they were ever informed DCF was involved with the family and if there were any allegations of abuse while the children were in school. The district says state law does not allow them to disclose that information.
Do you believe that it is okay for someone to withdraw their child from school with the intent to homeschool and then nobody ever has to kind of check to make sure that's actually happening?
That is not what the law says. There are many laws that allow DCF to continue to keep the case open in a situation such as this, the alleged facts. In addition, the local public school district has an obligation to once a year find out where the children are being educated who live in the district.
The law does not state how a district is supposed to do that, and it is not clear if that law is being enforced. Stevenson says just like in the Waterbury captivity case, focus should be on Jacqueline's family, DCF, and other state systems.
Warrants for the people charged in Jacqueline's death are expected to be released October 28th. We've asked DCF for their records involving the Garcia Torres family, including when they first became involved with the family and when they last had contact. We also asked DCF if Jacqueline's aunt, Jacqueline Garcia, was allowed to live with her sister's children after getting out of prison in August 2025 for abusing her then 11-month-old. In that case, Jacqueline Garcia did lose custody of her 2 children, according to family members. Your chief investigative reporter, Sam Smake, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
Whoa, wait a minute. This case is getting into a fucking roller coaster. Oh my god. Oh my god. This is not good. This is just not good. The whole thing is just, man, I feel bad for that little girl, man. That little girl suffered for no fucking reason, man. Train of Truth is here. Train of Truth. It's always on time. I can't believe that they would just let this little girl, like, nobody checked on her. Damn, that horn was loud. Okay. Nobody give a shit about her. Loud horn again. Damn. That is so sad. Such a sad case. Because you got to think, the girl had a birthday. So nobody called to wish her happy birthday. Nobody came over to wish her happy birthday. Like, nobody bought her a gift for her birthday. Not only that, but this happened last year. So nobody bought her a gift for Christmas? You gotta be fucking kidding me, right? And then they didn't even get her anything for the 3 Kings, the Tres Reyes, that we Puerto Ricans celebrate. I don't know. That story has so many legs. There's these people are disgusting. Train of Truth again. Damn, these trains. I said piece of shit. The Train of Truth comes through and start blowing their horns. The Train of Truth is more like my confirmation. This is something I used to do way back on my show, long time ago, because I don't live far from a railroad, and the trains, they're loud, and the sound used to come out on my show, and I called it the Train of Truth. So every time the Train of Truth comes, it interrupts you. Like, yes, you're right. It's the Train of Truth. So wild. Okay, that nice. They don't implement them. Yeah, it's just. Yeah, I know. It's something. You see, this is a problem here in Connecticut when it comes to that, because my cousin was the same way with her children, and she lost her children because of drugs. My cousin that lived out here in New Britain, Connecticut. She was addicted to drugs. What drugs? Anyone. All right. She's been in and out of prison so many times. It's like when you would see her, it was a miracle because it's like they let you out of jail. Like that's what we used to like. That was the thing. Like when she used to pop out, it's like, damn, they let you out. They should have kept her ass. Like seriously. Um, my cousin was doing drugs while she was pregnant with her child, and the child came out really fucked up, like with mental issues. Like the kid was like 12 years old, and he kept shitting on himself. Like he was so fucked up, and she lost her children. DCF. She got busted. I don't know what she did to get busted, but she lost her children. She ended up getting pregnant again. I don't know who would fuck her, but guys up here, they're desperate. They will fuck up, like they'll any hole they find, they will try to like put their thing in there. But she moved down to Bridgeport, and she had a baby. Now I don't know if DCF let her keep that baby. I hope not. But that's an issue that we have up here in Connecticut with the children. Like the government doesn't really follow up on them so much, especially known like ex convicts and ex like people that have problems and mental issues, like issues and drug issues. Those are the first people you'd be like keep eyes on, you know. But a lot of cases get slipped under the rug, and they go unnoticed, and you have the situation what happened to Jacqueline Mimi, where she was severely malnourished and beaten and was tortured, and I feel like she was sexually um you know not good. um Hit so many times. Like she died before they took her out of school. That's true. She and it was before the fall. It was like summertime actually, where she passed away, and they took her out of school and went under the covers for a whole year. And the fact, why would they take a container that has that body and just leave it behind an abandoned house? Like, why? Like, you put all your DNA and fingerprints and DNA pretty much on that canister, so you can't say it wasn't you that moved it. Then the fact the body was decomposed, and something tells me that little girl, she's been everywhere. Like she was moved to different spots. She wasn't just in one spot. She was in a basement for a time. She was in a car for a good amount of time. She was at different locations, and it got to the point where the boyfriend was like, I gotta ditch this, and threw her in the back of a house, an abandoned house, and people saw this, and they call the cops because they're like, no, people are throwing shit back there, and try to report on it. The cop goes over and says, they're doing an investigation on it. So they come upon this container and they're like, what the, let's check it out. And they open it, and perfect timing with the horn. Yeah. They find her body. but I feel like a lot of pain and like in the gut. Not good. No. Yeah, they do sell the kids for drugs. They prostitute them. They do all this crazy shit. Like, it's just very disturbing. Like, this kid really suffered. Really suffered. Like, and the fact we don't have a death penalty, it just. I just like I live in a Democrat state, and like everything in the north and east is pretty much Democratic, and I was born in Florida. I was born in Miami, and the only reason I left there was because of the thunderstorms were driving me crazy, because I got a lot of metal in my neck and my spine, so the weather was driving me crazy. It's starting to cool down now here. It's supposed to be 38 tonight. Nice cold front came through, and now we're getting the nice cool breeze. Yeah, so I'm sorry the show took a lot of Tyson time with the stupid debate shit. Because they're all like, for me, I feel like they're the Three Stooges, right? Like, we could continue watching it. Oh shit, I got the time. Fuck that. We could just put it on here, and these are the Three Stooges, right? And I know, and it's very important to know who's who's going to be the mayor of New York City. At least for me, it's important, because then that will be determined if I go to New York City or not. It'll be a shame that I won't be able to go to New York City, because I won't want to go there. If Mamdani is the mayor, I'm just not going to go. I won't waste a penny in New York City. Hell no. Like, fuck that shit. And I'll make sure to, if he does win, I'll make sure to go to New York City before he takes over office. Like, I think they take over office, if I'm not mistaken, on New Year's. Is it New Year's? Yeah, I don't think I want to continue these Three Stooges. To be honest with you, I could watch that later, because they're just fucking idiots. I'm sorry. It's just like I said, they're like the Three Stooges, and like the other one, the way he smiles and he looks at the camera is very fucking creepy to me. Like, extremely creepy to me. I don't know. I don't know. Oh, look. Remember, okay, guys, remember when I posted a question in the chat? Do you remember when I posted a question that this is my question to those three mayors? And I was like, about the infrastructure? Because I care, like, nobody's talking about the infrastructure. Everybody's talking about the free buses, free this and that, and you did this, and they caught you with that, and you got like 13 charges because you're a horny guy, and like, and it felt like the Three Stooges, okay? But I was saying the infrastructure, because there was a parking lot that collapsed in New York City, and everything's quiet, like nobody's mentioning how the structure is falling apart. Like, here's another thing that happened in White Plains, New York. Okay, that's like in the upper part of New York City, like real close. I'm about an hour and 5 minutes from White Plains, but this what happened to them. And I believe this was today. So let's look at the story.
We're going to begin with that breaking news. Several Cars apparently destroyed after the partial collapse of a parking garage.
It happened on the 4th and 5th floors of that garage in White Plains, and right now, hundreds of cars are still inside the structure.
Eyewitness News reporter Joe Torres live at that scene in White Plains. Joe?
Sandra, David, this is downtown White Plains. This here is Hale Avenue. For those of you familiar with the Westchester Mall, Hale Avenue runs right into the Westchester Mall, but this here is the parking lot where all the activity and that collapse occurred. What happens here is that folks who work in the neighboring Westchester 1 office building, they park into the garage and then they take the crosswalk and head over to their office building. We can tell you right here at the top, no injuries as a result of what happened here today, but let's get into the specifics as we show you some social media video from inside the parking garage. This collapse happened, it was the 5th floor that collapsed onto the 4th floor, and that happened right around 10 o'clock, just before 10 o'clock this morning, and what a widespread response it generated, not just from here in White Plains, but the surrounding area. The focus now is on the integrity of the parking garage. We saw inspectors inside examining the other floors, examining and inspecting the entrance ramps.
They're crazy. Being underneath that.
With the police commissioner and the mayor here in White Plains, they said they want to make sure that they can shore up the building so that the people who have cars on the inside can get them out at some point. We don't know when specifically that'll happen. We did talk to some of the workers who have their cars parked inside. They were hesitant to go on camera because they don't have the permission of their employer, but they told us work here at this parking garage has been going on for years. When we asked, can you be more specific, what kind of work, they didn't know for sure. They did tell us it's not assigned parking here. You sort of pull in the morning, you find a parking spot that works for you, and then you take the crosswalk and head into the office.
Those cars are fucked.
Management did send a note to some of the employees here in the Westchester 1 office building saying, listen, there's been a collapse. We encourage you to work from home if that's possible. And you can guess what the response was. How am I going to get home if my car is stuck inside the garage? There is a news conference that's about to happen here. We're told it's going to be at noon today. We'll get more information as we get it. We'll pass it on to you, David and Sandra. But the good news out of all of this, no injuries as a result of this partial collapse inside that parking garage. We'll keep you posted as the day progresses, but that's the latest from White Plains. I'm Joe Torres, Channel 7. Eyewitness News.
Yeah, a little bit of good news is good news. Thank you very much, Joe.
Joe, that's fucking crazy, Joe. What the fuck? A whole parking garage collapse? Like, I want to see a close-up of the fucking garage. Like,
Let's
you guys
start with
were
that
just going from...
collapse in White Plains.
Let me see if I can get a video here.
It's right now, leaving people.
Let me see, because this is why I was talking about the infrastructure. I was like, the infrastructure is the most important, and none of them was talking about it. I'm like, these soft debates, they're just soft. It's just, everything's all rigged anyways.
Let's start with that partial garage collapse in White Plains. The garage, it's off limits right now, leaving people whose cars are still parked inside the structure, likely hundreds of them without their rides.
They're fucked.
News 4's Melissa Colorado, live at the scene with more. Melissa.
You don't know when you're going to get your car.
And Natalie, just imagine this, you're getting off work, your car is just steps away, it's parked right across the street, but you can't get to it. That's because this partial collapse that happened in this garage building. Right now, the city is working on an engineer to give the A-OK, to check the structural stability of this building and give these office workers the green light. But meanwhile, we went to the parking garage next door. This building is structurally safe. We went up to the 4th floor to see the damage for ourselves. New video shows the parking garage floor in downtown White Plains caving in.
Damn.
About half a dozen parked cars smushed together on the 4th and 5th floors. The parking garage
I don't think they're going to be able to get those cars.
Partially collapsed just after 9 this morning.
Oh my God.
Parking garage floor. Siobhan Rossi works in the high-rise office building next door, Westchester
that's not
1.
good.
She managed to drive away from the 5th floor before emergency crews shut the parking garage down.
It was very nerve-wracking, you know. It was just, I didn't know which way to go, if it was secure structure to leave, and I have small kids at home.
You are lucky.
The privately owned garage consists of 15 levels and serves all of Westchester 1 employees.
Oh my God.
Luckily, no one was injured. Crews from across the county came in to help stabilize the building using wooden columns.
If it was a
Wooden columns. You're gonna need more than
who
that
knows
shit.
what would have happened when people were coming into work. So we're blessed that there really wasn't.
You need
anybody
hydraulic
inside the
like
garage.
Our
jacks.
camera caught what appears to be signs of building deteration.
Oh, the
exposed
building's
and
falling
oxidized
apart.
beams on the ceilings of the garage.
We
there's
are waiting
negligence.
for engineers and some of the other people who are evaluating the status of the
Oh,
structure
this is no good.
to help us make a decision whether
All those cars are gonna be
or when cars can be
done.
taken out of there.
I drove right over that section of the parking lot, so it just makes you think.
You feel lucky?
I feel pretty lucky, yes. Maybe I'll go play lotto.
Wow.
Well, Shaban got lucky, but her less fortunate coworkers, and there are dozens of them, they're going to have to take
Lots.
Metro North. They're going to have to hop on an Uber to get home tonight.
that, you're
Meanwhile,
gonna
the
have to
cause
give
of
me a
this partial
rental.
building collapse, that is still under investigation. That's latest here in White
Or
Plains. I'm
buy me another car.
News for New York.
Fuck that. I ain't gonna be waiting around for All right, there's some breaking news here. Let's jump right to it.
All right, we have some sad news to pass along here. The founding member of KISS has died. In a family statement, Ace's family is saying in part that they are reflecting on all of his incredible life achievements. His memory will continue to live on forever. His career spanned over 50 years. He formed the iconic rock band KISS alongside Peter Criss, Paul Stanley, Gene Simmons in the early 1970s. As lead guitarist, he took on a couple of personas. You might remember Space Ace. Later, there was Space Man as well. Frehley was inducted into the Hall of Fame, or the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame with KISS in 2014. He was only 74 years old.
Wow. Okay, let's keep it moving. It's crazy.
Folks, so obviously we've overanalyzed J6 at this point, especially as we've been in a naturally defensive posture here. And I think it's pretty clear at this point Pelosi had operational control over Capitol security on that day. She refused reinforcements and then helped engineer this whole narrative to blame Donald Trump and go after, or rather politically persecute innocent Americans. The whole thing was obviously orchestrated. And now, well, Nancy has to answer to that, especially as the power pendulum has shifted. And yeah, she's not dealing with it very well.
Congresswoman Pelosi, are you at all concerned that the new January 6th committee will find you liable for that day? Are you at all concerned about the new January 6th committee finding you liable for that day? Why did you refuse the National Guard on January 6th?
Shut up. I did not refuse the National Guard. The president didn't send it. Why are you coming here with Republican talking points as if you're a serious journalist?
Oh boy. Whoa, calm down, old lady. Maybe go ahead and reach into that $25,000 freezer you got and grab yourself a little ice cream. Just take the edge off.
God.
What a complete pathetic tantrum. And obviously she's doing it for two reasons. Her behavior is so extreme, first off, because she knows that she now has to explain herself. But secondly, because obviously she knows it's a little bit more than just a Republican talking point.
Nancy's
it's based
crazy.
in fact. And we got the receipts. There's documented proof
Yo,
that this
you
woman
should've
has been
brought her
lying
a
through her
fucking
teeth
bottle.
for years.
Would've
Of
calmed
course,
her ass
Nancy
down.
Pelosi claims that she had no role in Capitol security, but that is an outright lie. As the Speaker of the House, which she was at the time, Capitol security is literally her responsibility. She is the executive in terms of making those decisions. And all of it runs through her Sergeant at Arms. The House Sergeant at Arms works directly for the Speaker of the House and takes strategic direction from her office. And that fact right there blows this whole thing wide open. We all remember leaked text message communications between Nancy Pelosi's staff and the House Sergeant at Arms at the time, Paul Irving. We covered those text messages years ago of her office closely coordinating what security decisions would be made during and before January 6th. Irving himself even admitted under oath that he turned down the National Guard because of optics. In other words, Nancy Pelosi's team didn't want National Guard troops on site because it looked bad politically, right? Give me a break if anybody actually believes that. There was massive intelligence suggesting a huge crowd was coming, and it wasn't just MAGA right-wing extremists. No, there was the potential for mob mentality, that's one thing, and secondly, for agitators in the crowd who had bad intentions, possibly even foreign adversaries, wanting to take advantage of that moment and turn it into something bigger. And Nancy Pelosi's office understood this. They knew this the intelligence was clear. And what did they do? They put little flimsy iron barriers in front, which they also subsequently moved out of the way themselves and allowed everybody to walk in the damn building. Not to mention, extremely strong magnetically locked doors just happened to remotely open. Somebody pressed the button, allowing people right in the building. I mean, come on. We also know that President Trump already signed off on 20,000 National Guard troops days before January 6th. Pelosi's arms blocked that request. Then we had leaked text messages that showed Pelosi's aides scrambling to control the narrative, instructing Irving to shift the blame away from Nancy Pelosi and back onto President Trump. So they allowed chaos to ensue. They invited chaos into the Capitol building. And then during the chaos, they were crafting talking points. Clearly, they didn't care about the Capitol's security, democracy, or the supposed threat that they were under, even though they were in another building entirely, because, well, they knew it was coming. No, they didn't care about security. They cared about the spin. And that's why Pelosi just happened to have her daughter there with a professional film crew, a documentary film crew, inside the Capitol building, ready to film this historic moment. Ooh, quick, get my good angle here, and I'll act super duper scared as I'm running for my life. Oh, the fascists, they've breached the building that I'm literally not even in.
They've already breached the inaugural stuff that should we call the Capitol Police? I mean, the National Guard?
Stupid. The whole thing was a performance. Nancy Pelosi knew exactly what she was doing. January 6th was not just a protest that got out of control. It was a political operation. And it goes even deeper, as we're now learning that over 275 FBI agents were covertly embedded in the crowd. I wonder if Ray Epps was one of them. Probably not, right? Oh, yeah, definitely not. The whole thing was orchestrated, and it was then used as a political story to crush President Trump. That was the whole ambition, to stop him from being able to run in 2024 again. And when that failed, when the insurrection narrative fell apart, they desperately moved on to the next thing, indicting President Trump in the most disgusting abuse of the judicial system, arguably in American history. Oh, and how could I forget? After everything they did on the day of January 6th, Nancy Pelosi then formed her little partisan commission, which was bipartisan, by the way, with Adam Kinzinger and Liz Cheney. Give me a frickin' break. That little pathetic January 6th show trial where they allowed no cross-examination, no defense, no just pure, edited, and falsified propaganda. They tried hiding over 14,000 hours of surveillance footage. Adam Schiff and his cronies presented literal, cropped text messages, altered messages, out of context. They did the same thing with videos. All of it to build this insurrection story. They doubled down, they pushed lies, they ruined people's lives. They jailed innocent people, threw veterans into solitary confinement, and then tried to imprison President Trump in their lawfare campaign that followed, using Jack Smith, their friggin' Washington legal hound. And now, of course, the people are demanding answers. And look at Nancy Pelosi's reaction.
She already had
Shut
the
up,
part
she
already.
says. How about never? Shut up.
She
Make
went
me.
crazy.
To make me
Nancy
shut up. You're
went
gonna have to put me
wild.
6 feet under, lady. Now's not the time for us to shut up.
I hope
Now's
she has
the
her
time for you
rabies
to
shot
explain
up to date.
yourself. And very clearly, Nancy Pelosi doesn't like that very much. And I wonder why that is. Anyways, that's pretty much what I got for you guys. If you enjoyed
Yeah, I
this
wonder
video,
why
make
she
sure to leave a
got
like.
so-
Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.
Thanks. This is Liberal High. Thank you very much. But yeah, why Nancy got all frisky? She got frisky. Girl went like girl, you better take your finger somewhere else. If you're not putting it up your ass, you better move that finger out of my face. I don't know. She crazy. What's going on with Nancy? Nancy needs she needs a chill pill. That's what she needs. I think she's on too many chill pill. That's what it was the problem. She doesn't know who she is anymore. She's a daydum. Nancy is a daydum. We don't know what she's about anymore. She's multiple things. I tell you right now, she's a fucking crook. And she stole a lot of information to make herself wealthy, for sure. You know, with that type of salary, how can you be a multimillionaire? I don't know. How politicians get into Washington and automatically they become multimillionaires. It's beyond me. Truly, it is. let's go back to that story that I was covering earlier with the little girl, because there's more news coming out, and I want to get as much news documented on my channel about this little girl and the family and so forth. So we're gonna get on to more news about this Jacqueline Garcia Torres, aka Mimi. Very, very sad, man. Very sad.
Well, this story out of New Britain is reigniting the conversation about homeschooling oversight in our state. NBC Connecticut Investigates found out today the victim had gone.
Oh, she looks so pretty. Look at her hair.
Almost her entire life until she was pulled out from homeschooling last August. Police believe she was killed soon after that.
In a May report by the child advocate criticized the state's lack of homeschooling standards. Chief Investigator Len Bestoff is here with more on this.
Made it all
Well,
up.
Keisha, Mike, some of the things they talked about are really interesting.
false.
For example,
I think it's a lot of
this is the
made up
form
shit.
you can fill out if you
I
want
don't
to
believe
homeschool
the
your child, but you don't even have
FBI
to.
or
It is
CIA at
simply
that
a
time.
suggestion. It was just
They were all
8 months
manipulated.
ago. We had another situation involving a Waterbury child who was homeschooled, who then dropped off the radar screen, only to be discovered allegedly locked up in a house for years. The New Britain School District was told Jacqueline Torres Garcia would be homeschooled as well, leading to questions if this needs to be tracked better. The Connecticut Association of Superintendents of Public Schools, while complimenting parents who homeschool, also believes the laws need modifications, including annual check-ins by parents of homeschooled children.
It is our responsibility, according to the state constitution, that says we must educate every child. They have a right to homeschool if they so choose. But I think we have a responsibility to ensure that every child is accounted for.
The Connecticut Homeschool Network said in June its members oppose requirements like that.
We don't utilize the public school system. Our system historically works. Homeschooling just works across the board. We don't need that oversight from a system that we're not part of.
The Connecticut Homeschool Network added it considers this an overreach, noting the failures have more to do with the Department of Children and Families not keeping tabs on its cases. Governor Lamont indicated he'd support more oversight.
Sometimes we, the state or DCF or the locals, lose contact with kids if they're not going to school every day. So we're trying to find better ways to just keep a track on those kids and make sure tragedies like this can be avoided.
Folks were pitching regular homeschooler checkups back in the last legislative session, but essentially they decided not to go forward because it was late in the session and they didn't want to rush things.
So how do we compare to other states? We're, of course, not the only state that does homeschooling.
Well, very interesting. There's this OCA report from back in May, and what it said, it compared us to every New England state plus New York State. It said every one of those states has a one-year checkup that they do regularly for homeschoolers, and 2 of the states actually have to pre-approve the curriculum you give your homeschooling child.
In a lot of these recent cases, we can see that it wouldn't be a bad idea.
Definitely not.
Len, thank you.
Wow, that's just wild. All right, let's keep it moving to the next story here.
NBC Connecticut Investigates is learning new details about the death of a New Britain girl that has raised a lot of questions. Jacqueline Torres Garcia's remains were discovered last week at an abandoned property in the city. Police believe she was killed sometime last year.
Chief Investigator Len Bestoff spent the day digging through court records. Len, what have you learned?
Well, Mike and Keisha, Jacqueline Torres Garcia was known as Mimi, and there's a lot of paper trail documents about this case. And some of these documents helped us trace where Mimi was living and with whom. Most of the time, it was with her grandmother, paternal grandmother, in New Britain. Family court documents indicate Jacqueline Mimi Garcia lived with her paternal grandmother, Patricia Delgado, from birth until she was 7 years old. At one point, Delgado even sued Mimi's mother, Carla Garcia, for child support. Carla Garcia, now a co-defendant in Mimi's murder, was awarded custody in 2022.
but DCF took her away from me. I felt they forced me to hand over the girl, and I went to court, and they told me that the grandmother no longer had any rights to take or even see the child.
The DCF, or Department of Children and Families, has not commented on what Delgado, the paternal grandmother, said. But the agency has said it has been involved with Mimi's family in the past, and it's reviewing its records. Court records also show the girl's father, Victor Torres, took Garcia to court over joint custody in 2023. He wrote, "I want to see my children weekend like we agreed when given joint custody, or any day for that matter." Mimi's mother, Carla Garcia, sought sole custody of her in April 2024. Custody was granted to her months later, and soon after that, police believe Mimi was dead. The paternal grandparents told us Carla Garcia would not let them see or talk to the child.
The affidavits for the child's murder are currently sealed. It will be reconsidered at the end of the month. Len Bestoff, NBC
28th.
Investigates. Keisha, Mike, back to you.
Len, thank you.
That's wild. That's just so wild, man. I told you this thing had legs. I knew they had legs. It's just more. There's more information coming out, and I'm just getting it real time. There's so much more behind all this. This is so disturbing. So disturbing. Makes me sick, you know. It's just to think about it, you know. A little 11-year-old, you fucking kill her and put her in a fucking plastic bin, and then like pretend like continue on with life like it was all good, and slept and woke up and took care of yourself and went to the bathrooms and doing all this shit. And continuing to live life knowing that your daughter is in a plastic bin. They need to bring back the death penalty to Connecticut. They really do. It's uncalled for. It's just for certain cases. I think they need to bring it back. Just for certain cases. You know, it just needs to come back. It's just disturbing, man. It makes me sick. That's why my stomach just hurts. Cause I'm gonna go to that home. I'm looking it up. I'm trying to find the address, which I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna find out where this house is located. And I'm gonna drop some candles off over there and light them up. I hope the weather's gonna be okay. Let me check on the weather. Should be okay. Let me see if what's going on in the world. I guess there's some protests going on. They're still doing the protests. I know this Saturday is supposed to be the No Kings protest again. So stupid, right? No Kings protest. Like, do you have anything else to do on a Saturday? Like, you can't think of anything better to do than to waste your time in a No Kings protest? People are stupid, man. I don't get it. It's gonna be nice, actually. It's gonna rain on Monday, but the candles will last for at least like 2 days. They should last about 2 days. It's about the same size as the ones I have on my table. You can't really see them, but they're up here. I got a few up here. The thing is, like, I'm so sensitive to energy. I'm sensitive to like the dead, and having like this close and being close to where this place is, and knowing that energy's there, and I'm gonna put myself there. Um, it's wild, you know. It's just that girl shouldn't have not suffered that way and then been dead for over a year. You imagine over a year in a plastic container, and then they were moving that container around. They wouldn't leave that container in just in one place. That container has moved around, and they got away with it for so long. You would think they would have done something else to no, they just, and then that's it outside an abandoned house. Oh man, that fucking sucks, man. It's disturbing, man. Yeah, there's so many things that story has so many legs, Jonathan. It just has so many legs. The grandparents, I don't know, because the grandparents fought they had custody of the kid from, I guess, since birth until 7 years old. And I think the grandparents sued the mother for child support so they could help take care of her daughter. The grandparents were taking care, and I think the grandparents did a good job with taking care of that little girl. I just feel like they did a good job. I don't think I'll blame the grandparents on this one. I think the grandparents did a great job. I think the mother is the problem. The mother and the aunt was the problem. Especially the mother. Like, I don't think it has nothing to do with the grandparents. They fought for, and they try to get child support. And then when the father took over custody, and the father had the daughter, she was good. She was fine. She was happy. She looked very happy in pictures. And then the mother fought to get sole custody back. And here in Connecticut, of course, they're soft, very soft, and didn't even do a proper investigation before saying, yes, granted, you're going to get full custody back. Like, are you kidding me? And the fact that the father had to give up his daughter and was fighting tooth and nails to keep his daughter, and she just snatched that girl back. And I think something happened between that girl and the mother and the boyfriend, and it's very disgusting. And these two are just gonna rot in fucking prison. I just can't believe that. No fucking death penalty here in Connecticut. That's so stupid. I should wear a shirt that says "Bring back the death penalty in Connecticut." Like, this case right here should be a case that brings back the death penalty. Like, it's just, it's just crazy, man. It's just crazy. Yeah, it's this Saturday. It's the No Kings protest. You don't trust the grandparents? No, I think the grandparents are fine. I think the grandparents are good. I think it's more the daughter. The daughters are fucked up, and that guy is fucked up. Look how he looked in court. Like, he was beat up before he went into court. Someone got to him and beat him up. Someone got to him and beat him up. And he went with a really bright shiner for sure. But but this weekend, this Saturday, I'll probably come on and cover a little bit of the No Kings bullshit. That's what I'm calling it. It's called the No Kings bullshit. If you want to call it the No Keys, whatever you want to call it, but I call it the No Kings bullshit because it's bullshit. All that energy that they're wasting, they could be doing something productive in their life, and doing something that's actually like worth wild for. I don't think protesting and causing a ruckus is a great idea. Let's see what's going on here. Let me put this on pause real quick. Let me hit play. I want you guys to look at this. This is what's going on in Portland right now. So you got agents up on the roof, and you got all these people standing right in front of the entrance, the entrance. I guess there's police officers there. And then you have these agitators there. I don't know if they're playing music. I'll hit the sound, and then we'll see and hear. See, because they do play music. See this shit? Like, what? Why? Like, who's paying?
We don't like what you guys are doing!
What is this?
Why are you pointing your gun at people?
He's not even pointing his gun.
What's so violent
What's so violent about this?
Why do you guys need to point your guns at people? Why do you gotta point your guns at people? You never get paid again! Why do you gotta point your guns at people? This is not violent! Fucking Nazis! This is not violent!
That's what's going on over there. And it's a little section because you see right here. This is where they're at right here. You see this little group of people, and this is a footage that's facing this way because the building's back here. This is the building. This is the building. So this is it right here, and this is where they're filming. And it's not much, but they shouldn't be there. You know, the car comes fast and don't see them and hit them. They're gonna hit all these people. This is a stop. Yeah. But you got these people walking in the middle of the street. Thank you. This is supposed to go, right? It's just, but this is what we're dealing with. Is it gonna stop? I don't know. I don't know. And they're really gonna ramp it up. Like they're gonna ramp it up this Saturday. No Kings, and they got like sponsors and everything, and then there should be a really big investigation on that, and they should do something about it because it's just, you can't prolong these people and let them do what they want and get away with it. Like, no, it's just ridiculous. Let me see if there's any new news. Let me see if there's anything. I do have a Tyson DeLacruz to put up on here, so we're definitely gonna watch that. John Bolton indicted. It gives me that fun with Dick and Jane. Indicted? What? Indicted? Yeah, I'm not gonna do the whole Jim Carrey scene, but it's funny as hell. It's a good movie. Fun with Dick and Jane. The little boy trying to learn Spanish, like Mexican, and then he get caught up because he had some kind of like a lip thing because of you gotta watch the movie. It's funny, and then he starts talking like a little rough, and then he didn't have his ID, and he got caught up with the with the I guess they picked him up like how ICE is doing now. Fun with Dick and Jane. You gotta watch that movie. You gotta bring some humor to these no king people. So stupid. So stupid. But I like that Trump IRS targets Soros funded groups under RICO status. That's something that I'm interested in. Let me bring this over here and I'm going to watch that. I want to watch it with you guys because that is important. Because they need to follow the money. I know it leads all to Soros. A lot of it goes to Soros, but there's other players in the game. It's not just Soros. Okay. So, and that's why all the distractions have been happening. Because they don't want the truth. They don't want people digging on the truth. So what they do is they distract people. They distract and they deflect, and you'll never get the truth because they'll spin it around so many times that you're dizzy, and then you don't want to follow. But look at this. What's this inflatable shit? Like this, like what's this? That's so weird. I know Halloween is around the corner. Imagine Halloween, how this is gonna look on Halloween. This is gonna be all inflatable, like things out there. Yeah, why does it sound like a rave? That's so funny. Yeah, it feels like more like a rave. I bet you they're doing mollies and shit. I bet you they're doing some drugs. Like they get high and they go out there and they start partying. And it's just like they don't even care. Look, like the people are blocking the road. So like you see, that's the danger. You see, the cars have to do a U-turn and make an illegal U-turn because now they can't cross the road because they got these people now standing in the middle of the road. That's the problem. And this is right here. This is the military. Actually, that's they clearing out the road. The people are getting out of here. Okay, so that's why they're getting rid of these people. You see, they're getting rid of the people and moving them out the way. Look, they grab somebody. They grab somebody. They're gonna arrest somebody. Look, they grab somebody. Let's see what they say. Hold on. Let me put up the volume. This is live. You got caught. You got caught. How can you support yourself? How can you love yourself? Like these people, they're like super Karens to the front. Karens that are on standby. You are activated. All whiners and was it those plastic animal balloon, I don't know what you call it, costumes to the front. Why do they do this? You see, look. You see how the police back off and look at the door. If I was a cop, I'll start. Look at this one in the wheelchair. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Let me cut the music because this is getting stupid. You got someone right here with this blue bag right here. That's a wheelchair. Here's another wheelchair too on the far left right here, where the pony is. There's a person in a wheelchair. That's crazy. I wonder how much these people get paid to do this. Oh, the train of truth is here. I love the train of truth. It looks like no, Jonathan, no. I saw that movie. It was all right. Five Nights at Freddy. Yeah. So funny. So funny. But yeah, I don't understand this. Like, why this disruption? Why, like, who's paying for this? Because these people are out here almost every day, and they're taking pictures of these individuals every day. They have a profile of everybody already, even the wheelchair one. It's like, if you could be out there in a wheelchair, then we're gonna take away your fucking disability. Fuck that shit. If you could be out here in a wheelchair, then you could be fucking working. Damn. Yeah, it's crazy. Let me set up these here. A couple of things I want to watch, and then we got a Tyson. But I want to see if we have any like big news, or I'm just waiting for something, I guess. I don't know why. I know Tyson should be coming up soon. He should be uploading any minute now. Yep. As of 6 minutes ago, his video just popped up. Thanks, Tyson. I know the time is like 5. It's always 10, 15, 10, 16. That's when it uploads. Oh, no. We got a Jimmy Kimmel story. Great. Let me set this up here. Because we're going to watch these before I leave for the night. And man, what a great show with Tyson. I love having Tyson here. Like, Tyson's always welcome. And I feel so special. Like, because I'm sure I'm the only one that has him on YouTube. My man, like, he has over 122,000 subscribers on YouTube. That's crazy. And he hangs out with my show. He's cool people, I'm telling you. It's like, I love that he's growing, and I'm so happy for him. He knows. He has, let's see, 123,000 subscribers. All right, we're gonna watch this right now. If I can put the volume up.
Aim at several far-left piggy banks. He is directing the Internal Revenue Service, the IRS, to target wealthy funding networks, bankrolling suspicious and sometimes violent progressive causes. He says, follow the money. That's funny. We've been saying that a lot. The IRS is now gathering a list of candidates to potentially face criminal investigations, including longtime liberal money man, you guessed it, George Soros,
Hey-o.
who is at the root of most of the problems that we have here in New York City. DAs like Alvin Bragg. I digress.
Yeah, the Soros DAs have really just destroyed these once great cities. And, a lot of people are questioning, well, how can they go about this legally? And it's through a RICO statute. And what they will do is, if there is rioting that follows some of these groups that are funded by Soros adjacent entities, then that is part of the RICO Act.
Yeah.
So if rioting happens and there is violence and property destruction and damage and an overall feeling of unsafety, then yes, that is an avenue. But of course, you have to be careful because when the shoe is on the AOC foot, as Brian pointed out earlier.
No, nobody was happy when I said that,
And,
but you wait.
if she's Cinderella and becomes the next president, then you know for sure they're going to be targeting
AOC president.
Maybe, oh God.
Now I know I'm living in a
Came up the other night
fucking
on the bottom line
this is
dig, and
not
we were
real.
talking about, I think,
I'm
the,
already dead.
anti-ICE protests in Chicago.
This is
and
all
you brought
figment
up
of my
the
imagination.
idea. It's like, how do these people get here? How are they funded? How are they doing all of this?
Where do they get all the
That's
bricks
not the
from?
only example, but we
kidding.
could take it to
and the body armor.
And the body, exactly.
Yeah.
They are well funded.
This is about just using the power of the Criminal Investigation Division within the IRS to enforce the laws that you're not allowed to fund violent protest. And so that's what's afoot, and it's very different than quietly targeting nonprofits because of their political affiliation. This is, as you pointed out, about violence, disrupting commerce and the like. I am concerned, though, broadly speaking, is Newton's third law of motion. For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. When it comes to politics, Newton's third law does not apply. For every action, there is an asymmetrically larger reaction. So whatever you do, the left, the liberals, the Democrats will come back and do.
Yeah, they can follow the money.
But that's no reason not to pursue it.
I'm just saying,
Well,
that you better load for bear.
You could do it through the IRS, or Senator Cruz has introduced legislation, basically. So let's make a law defining how you can use RICO to actually go after this. Because people say, well, if you go after the funders of protests, aren't you stifling free speech? And what the defenders of this proposed law say is, you've got to prove, if you go after funders, you've got to prove the intent that you're funding something that you know or want to lead to violence, right? Which is a much higher bar. So for those who are like, this is an affront to free speech, this is going to be very hard to prove, even if you can do it. But the point is, you need something when you look at the evidence on the ground and you realize all the tools of violence are like uniform in these situations. That didn't happen by accident. So it makes sense to go back and look.
Are
and
you
see who's
talking
funding
about
it.
when you send protesters out and they have gas masks so they're ready for, I mean, intent is hard to prove what is in somebody's head, but when you're giving them tools like that to arm themselves because you can anticipate that there will be violence.
That's the point.
Right?
I mean, if you can see that, you can infer there's an intention here, and the intention wasn't to sing Kumbaya and play the guitar badly.
It was to create chaos.
It was to create violence on people or property. That's why
They've been perfecting it for 25 years. And they're figuring out a way to be untraceable, but also to be completely uniform, to your point, Jackie, and to have, like, it is just beyond coincidental that you've got protesters in different cities, thousands of miles apart, with the exact same equipment.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Let's go back to what they were talking about here. Look at the frogs. They're dancing. We got a dancing. We got an alien. Look, a person with an alien. This is fucking Halloween party. This is a Halloween party. This is not a fucking protest. What? It's a rave party. It's a fucking rave party. And they're in costumes. Like, I don't know what's trying. I'm smoking right now, and I'm good. I'm smoking some good shit. I got mine from the dispensary, so I'm good. I already smoked one joint. This is the second one. I'm still not high enough for this. What is this frog party? So we got a frog party with lights. One of them have lights inside of it. It's like it's a rave inside look. They're dancing. You got the purple, like I guess it's a pony. Like, and then you got the frogs, and the frogs are raving out. What is going on with society? I bet they got shrooms. Yeah, I bet you they're on something. They really are on something. That's crazy. All right. Let's go to a nice story.
New video shows the moments immigration and custom enforcement agents stormed a car wash in Hamden yesterday.
That's right. Hamden's
Hey,
mayor
Connecticut.
confirmed the agency took 8 people into custody.
Yeah, there's a lot of them. A lot of immigrants here, illegal.
From an immigration advocacy group. Jen.
Hey there, Kevin and Amber. So, it appears to be business as usual at the Optimo Car Wash just right across the street here on Dixwell Avenue. You can see there are cars right now lining up to get their car washed, just like any normal day. But the video we obtained shows the video from yesterday morning. I spoke to the director of an immigrant advocacy group about the raid. He says he is outraged and upset to see what's happening in the state.
They were screaming. Actually, the girls, they were confused. It happened so fast. They didn't give them a chance to have hello, who are you? What's your name? To just start taking them.
Some people in Hamden are shaken up after town officials say 8 adults were taken into custody on Wednesday by immigration and custom enforcement agents. According to Hamden's mayor, the ICE operation happened at the Optimo Car Wash on Dixwell Avenue.
Dixwell. I know where Dixwell
she's
is.
concerned about the same thing happening to her.
It's how we're going to survive and eat.
How are we going to survive and eat?
And we are scared to be stopped, or harmed, because the way they're coming is very dangerous.
This video provided to NBC Connecticut by a store owner who wishes to remain anonymous shows the moment when 2 cars pull up to the car wash, and within seconds, masked and unmasked federal agents enter the shop and begin detaining people. Employees can be seen attempting to run, but are ultimately detained and escorted back to the agents' vehicles.
Connecticut has not been hit really hard by ICE, but I feel strongly like eventually they're going to start developing this operation. So I expect we're going to see these kind of situations more often.
John Lugo, director of Unidad Latina en Acción, an immigration advocacy group, says he was contacted by a member of his organization saying their sister had been detained with others in this raid.
The only thing I can say about yesterday is 2 people got released already. Many of the people who got detained yesterday, they were in the process to become legal in this country. We're fighting. I think there is a lot of lawyers interested in helping all these people. So, yeah, we're working with them.
The Trump administration has promised mass deportations to continue. In response, Lugo says his advocacy group launched a new initiative called Red Folder Operation.
The people came to my office and we helped them to organize the documents just in case they got picked up. So then it will be easier for the lawyer who decide to represent this person to know what to do.
Know what to do? You're going back home.
The identities of the people in the video, and we have contacted ICE to find out more information about Wednesday's operation. We are still waiting for a response back. Reporting live in Hamden, Jennifer Cuevas, NBC Connecticut News. Back to you guys.
All right, Jen, thank you.
That's crazy. That's funny. And again, I am not far from Hamden. I am not far from Hamden. Oh Lord, it's just crazy. It's just right now. It's ICE. They just gotta do what they gotta do. There's a lot more. If you're just gonna Hamden shit, you need to go to Hartford. Hartford is the jackpot. That's the honey hole. Yeah, it's is what it is. That's Connecticut, All right, we're gonna go now to the Tyson DeLacruz. I got a back-to-back on Tyson tonight, and he was here earlier. And I hope you, if you have not, if you're watching, thank you. But for those rewatching, thank you for rewatching. Truly appreciate it. Leave a like and leave a comment. Tyson reads it too, and not only that, but he interacts with the chat as I do too. But I have problems with my vision, so I use my phone. So I have this show on my phone so I can see better. And then when I'm talking, I'm not really looking at the chat until I play a video, and then I look at the chat, and then I can respond. But just be patient. That's all. The train. When I said patience, the train of truth comes. A lot of trains tonight. A lot of them are going north to get ready for tomorrow. This is the time where they start going north and we start prepping them for the next day, and then they start running early in the morning. But yeah, let's watch some Tyson DeLacruz. Let's go ahead and set it up. And then we're gonna call it a night because I am tired and I gotta wake up early tomorrow morning. And I got my physical therapy tomorrow morning. That's gonna be a bitch. I already know it's gonna be a bitch. Got the sirens going off here. Boop boop. There, that's not far. All right, so let's get on with the show.
Detective Hazelton says this crime is happening across the city, and parents need to be vigilant, monitoring their child's social media accounts.
America, we need to talk about two stories that shows you the difference between Trump and the Biden administration when it comes to protecting children. Operation Lightning Bug just rescued more than 30 missing children from human trafficking hell in Texas, while new data shows our border is now the most secure that it's been in 50 years. But here's what really gets me. This success is happening while we're still dealing with the aftermath of Biden's disaster, where over 20,000 unaccompanied minors went missing under his watch.
More than 24 missing children from Texas, including San Antonio, have been found after a nearly 3-week operation.
You make too much sense.
Tonight, several people
Jonathan
are facing human trafficking charges.
What is up, guys? Tyson DeLacruz here. Thank you so much for rocking with me. This story shows you what happens when you have leadership that actually prioritizes American children over political correctness and open border policies. Let me break down what just happened in San Antonio with Operation Lightning Bug. This wasn't some small scale operation. This was a coordinated effort involving 10 different agencies working together to bring missing children home.
10 agencies, including San Antonio Police, the Bexar County Sheriff's Office, and the New Braunfels Police Department, teamed up to make Operation Lightning Bug happen. Their mission to bring home missing, trafficked, and exploited minors.
The numbers from this operation are staggering. More than 30 missing minors rescued, 6 ex-trafficking survivors rescued and connected with support services, 3 arrests for harboring runaways, 9 felony warrants executed, 5 new human trafficking investigations open. But here's the number that really tells the story. More than 120 additional juveniles voluntarily returned home. Think about that for a second. Over 150 children in total were either missing, trafficked, or in danger. And this was just one operation in one area of Texas.
We recovered over 120 missing persons. Case is closed.
3 harboring a runaway arrests were made, 9 felony arrest warrants executed, 6 trafficking survivors recovered, and 5 human trafficking investigations opened.
Nearly 3 weeks of intense work by federal and local agencies. And the scope of what they found would terrify every parent in America. We're not talking about kids who ran away for a few hours. We're talking about children who were being systematically exploited by PDFs. Detective Travis Hazelton with SAPD's Special Units Victims explained exactly what they're dealing with.
We're a corridor where we are from the border up. We're on 10, 35. We have direct access to Houston and Austin and Dallas. So everything comes through San Antonio. It's a hub.
Traffickers are using social media now to target children. Detective Hazelton pointed out that when we were growing up, you had access to your neighborhood, your schools. Now your children have access to everything through social media, and PDFs are exploiting that access to find vulnerable targets. What makes Operation Lightning Bug so effective is that it's not just about rescuing kids. It's about understanding why they're vulnerable in the first place and preventing future trafficking.
We need to know why they're running away, what they're doing, and how we can help them not run away anymore and help prevent them from being trafficked. If they are being trafficked, to stop that in the act.
Every single rescued child was interviewed by special victims units to determine if they have been exploited. Every single one. Because that's how common trafficking has become. They have to assume that these kids have been victimized until proven otherwise. The survivors were referred to agencies like Health and Human Services for long-term care and recovery support. This isn't just about making arrests. It's about helping these children rebuild their lives after experiencing unimaginable trauma.
The parents are terrified. They don't know where their kids are at, what they're going through. The kids are in a absolutely horrific situation that they can't get out of.
She had a lot of bruises.
It's an emotion that Ashley Estrada knows all too well.
Detective Hazelton described the emotional toll on families, parents terrified, not knowing where their children are or what they're going through. Children in horrific situations they can't escape from. Physical evidence of abuse and violence. One mother, Ashley Estrada, shared her nightmare story. Her daughter met an older teen who convinced her to leave home. What followed was 10 days of hell. Her daughter was taken into another home and held against her will, with captors taking photos of her at gunpoint. The girl was rescued and returned home, but the emotional toll continues. This is the reality of what these trafficking operations do to children and families. They destroy lives, create lasting trauma, and tear communities apart. Now, here's what's really significant about Operation Lightning Bug. It's part of a much larger effort by the Trump administration to address the child trafficking crisis that exploded under the Biden administration. The U.S. Marshal Service is conducting these operations under the Justice for Victims of Trafficking Act of 2015, which empowers them to recover missing or endangered children even when no fugitive is involved. But the scale and intensity of these operations has dramatically increased under the Trump administration.
We found kids in very deplorable conditions, very dirty conditions. We found children who have been raped.
Federal teams working to find missing migrant children have made shocking discoveries. Children in deplorable conditions, children who have been raped, children forced into debt bondage, working to pay off trafficking debt, children treated like actual slaves. More than 22,000 unoccupied children have been found so far under the Trump administration. But here's the most devastating statistic. 27 of those minors were found dead, either murdered, by suicide, by car accidents, or drug overdoses. 27 children who might still be alive if the Biden administration had properly vetted the people they were releasing to children.
We're talking about debt bondage, where children are being made to work off debt, trafficking debt. We're talking about children that were brought into situations and then treated like sexual slaves.
More than 400 sponsors have been arrested. These are the people that the Biden administration released children to without proper vetting. People who were supposed to be caring for these children, but instead they were exploiting them. The team operating from what they call the War Room in Washington, D.C. is an entirely data-driven, analyzing records and addressed to track down where these children ended up. They're working under the Department of Health and Human Services, made up of volunteers from agencies like the FBI and Homeland Security investigations. Now let's talk about the scope of the disaster that the Trump administration inherited. Between 2021 and 2024, more than 470,000 unoccupied children crossed into the United States under Biden's watch. Nearly 500,000 children. These children were released to sponsors under extremely lax vetting policies, no DNA testing to verify family connections. Children were released to people who claimed to be their parents but actually weren't. The data that the Biden administration was collecting was often completely wrong.
Well, under the last administration, there was a severe lack of screening. There was no DNA testing to see if there was a familial connection. Children were released to people that said they were their parents who were not.
Under the Trump administration, sponsors now have to get DNA tested. They have to get fingerprinted and show proof of income that they can actually take care of a child. Basic safeguards that should have been in place all along, but were ignored under Biden's rush to process as many people as possible. The lack of screening was so severe that children were being handed over to complete strangers who claimed to be relatives. PDFs could simply show up, claim to be an uncle or cousin, and walk away with a child. No verification, no follow-up, no accountability.
And in many cases, the data is horrible. What the Biden administration was taking in and actually putting into our computer systems was not the right information. So now we have to draw that all back in and deeply investigate into where some of these children went.
Wrong addresses, fake names, non-existent phone numbers. The Biden administration was essentially running a child trafficking operation disguised as a humanitarian policy. This wasn't incompetence. This was willful negligence. They prioritized processing numbers over child safety. They cared more about appearing compassionate than actually protecting vulnerable children. Now let's talk about the broader context of why operations like Operation Lightning Bug are so successful. The border is now more secure than it has been in over 50 years. The numbers are absolutely staggering. In fiscal year 2025, Border Patrol recorded about 238,000 apprehensions of people crossing the U.S.-Mexico border illegally. Compare that to 2.2 million in the fiscal year of 2022 under the Biden administration. That is a 90% reduction. In the past 8 months, Border Patrol has averaged about 9,000 monthly apprehensions along the border. The Biden administration sometimes recorded that number in a 24-hour period. We've gone from crisis-level crossings to the lowest number in half a century. How did this happen? The Trump administration militarized parts of the border, deployed additional troops, effectively closed down the American asylum system to those entering without permission, and virtually ended the practice of releasing people into the interior of our country. Most importantly, they convinced countries like Panama and Mexico to stop the movement of migrants before they reach American soil. This is what real diplomacy looks like, using America's leverage to solve problems at the source.
It effectively closed down the American asylum system to those entering the country without permission, and it has virtually ended the practice of releasing people into the interior of the country, which, as you know, has long been viewed as a pull factor that attracts illegal immigration to the U.S.
The Trump administration is even offering financial incentives for self-deportation. Adult immigrants in the U.S. illegally can receive $1,000 if they agree to return to their home countries. Unoccupied migrant children can receive $2,500 if they agree to return to their native countries. This is smart policy. It's cheaper to pay people to leave voluntarily than go through expensive processes of detention and deportation. And it reduces the trauma for children who can return home safely rather than being held in facilities. Here's what the media doesn't seem to understand. There is a direct connection between secure border and child safety. When you have an unsecure border, you create opportunities for trafficking and exploiting vulnerable children. The chaos at the border under the Biden administration wasn't just an immigration problem. It was a child safety crisis. Unoccupied minors were being processed so quickly that there was no time to properly vet sponsors. Children were disappearing into trafficking networks because the system was so overwhelmed.
It has made the world so much smaller for everybody. When we grew up, you had access to your neighborhood, your school. You have access to everybody as a child on social media now.
Now that the border is secure, resources can be directed from crisis management to actual law enforcement. Instead of processing thousands of new arrivals every single day, agents can focus on finding missing children and dismantling trafficking networks. Operations like Operation Lightning Bug are possible because we're not in a constant crisis mode anymore. When we're not overwhelmed by new arrivals, you can actually investigate existing cases and rescue children who are already in the system. The secure border also means that trafficking isn't easy to move children across international boundaries. When crossing points are controlled and monitored, it becomes much harder to transport victims without detection. Detective Hazelton's message to traffickers is clear. They will find you and they will prosecute you. But that message only works when you have resources and stability to actually follow through with it. America, this is what real child protection looks like. Operation Lightning Bug rescued more than 30 children in one operation, with over 150 total children brought to safety. The border is more secure than it's been in 50 years. Missing migrant children are being found and traffickers are being arrested. But we can't forget the price of Biden's failures. 27 children found dead, hundreds of sponsors arrested for exploitation, thousands of children still missing because they were handed over to unvetted strangers. The contrast couldn't be clearer. Under Biden, we had chaos at the border and children disappearing into trafficking networks. Under Trump, we have the most secure border in 50 years and systematic operations to rescue missing children. This isn't about politics. It's about protecting the most vulnerable members of our society. Every child rescued by Operation Lightning Bug is a life saved. Every trafficking network dismantled is a victory for justice. The bottom line is this: when you secure the border and prioritize child safety over political correctness, children get rescued and traffickers go to prison. That's how it should be, and that's how it's going to continue to be. Let me know what you think about this? Drop it down in the comment section down below. Smash the like button if you kindly would. Share, subscribe, and as always, guys, I'll catch you on the next one.
Well, there you go. That was a really cool one. That's a really good upload. You know, you got to save the children. You know, I listened to Whitney Houston when I was young, and I had a crush on Whitney Houston when I was little. Whitney, yeah, she when she broke out in the 80s, she was fire. Like, yeah. But anyhow, it's not about you, Whitney. Yeah, it's the kids, you know, the children. A lot of them came here, like even drugged up, and they came here and they don't even know where those kids are at. That's the scary part. They don't know where those kids, a lot of those kids are. And then they're trying to make schools safe havens. They're trying to say, ICE, you can't go to the schools. You're forbidden from going to the schools. But if the kids that are like, they're immigrants and they came here illegally, they gotta go too. They gotta go back to their family. If their family's not here and they're with some kind of sponsor, like, no, that doesn't work that way. You know, like, we have adoptions for a reason, like to adopt children. There's a process. You don't just grab one and be like, yeah, just bring me one from the border. Like, what? That's crazy. All right, let's go and finish off with the last video of the night with Tyson DeLacruz. He just uploaded this about 45 minutes ago. So let's go ahead and set it up and let's enjoy it.
LA County supervisors have passed an emergency declaration over recent immigration raids.
America, Los Angeles County just declared a state of emergency over ICE raids, claiming they need emergency powers to help struggling families and businesses. They're talking about using taxpayer money for rent relief, legal aid, and food assistance for people who entered our country illegally. But here's what they're not telling you about this so-called emergency. This isn't about helping families. This is about forcing American taxpayers to subsidize the collapse of businesses that were built on exploiting illegal labor. When your entire business model depends on paying people under the table and ICE shows up to enforce the law, suddenly it's an emergency that requires taxpayer bailouts.
It's really good. That's why I have them on my show. I have
an emergency declared in LA County in response to the federal immigration raid still happening today. County supervisors say the declaration can provide funds for families impacted.
What is up, guys? Tyson DeLacruz here. Thank you so much for rocking with me. This story perfectly exposes the hypocrisy of California's leadership and reveals the dirty secret about businesses that are struggling because of immigration enforcement. When your business collapses, when you can't exploit illegal workers, maybe your business model was the problem all along. Let me break down this absolute joke of an emergency declaration because the numbers don't seem to add up and the logic is completely backwards. LA County supervisors voted 4-1 to declare a local emergency over ICE raids, claiming it gives them power to move faster in bringing state and outside help.
LA County is declaring a local emergency over those ICE raids that have been happening since June. The Board of Supervisors voted 4-1 yesterday, saying the raids are leaving thousands of families in financial crisis.
But wait a minute. Wait a minute. These are people who entered our country illegally. Why is it California's taxpayers' responsibility to bail them out when federal law enforcement does its job?
The declaration lets the county move faster, bringing in state money and outside help for rent relief, legal aid, and even food assistance.
A large fiscal impact, and we've yet to know all of that yet.
but it is having an impact.
Supervisor Catherine Barger was the only one with any sense voting no and questioning if this emergency declaration really changes anything or it just invites potential lawsuits from the Trump administration. At least somebody understands that declaring fake emergencies to obstruct federal law enforcement might have some consequences.
County supervisors say the declaration can provide funds for families impacted, but many still have questions about the specifics.
Officials voting here yesterday in order to declare that state of emergency for all of LA County. They say it'll help those who are struggling with those ongoing immigration raids.
Now let's talk about what's really happening to these so-called struggling businesses, because the truth is uncomfortable for California's leadership. When ICE shows up and your business suddenly can't function, that tells me one thing, that your entire operation was built on exploiting illegal labor and people who enter the country illegally.
CBS LA is dedicated to following how ongoing immigration actions are impacting local communities.
And our Lauren Posen went to East LA and Boyle Heights, where business owners say they've taken a hit since the raids began.
Look at this music store owner, Mario Reyes, whose family's been selling records since 1964. He says, me and my old man were thinking about closing. We're pretty much closed. But listen to his explanation. It's just that people haven't been coming out. They're scared, you know?
Reyes and his wife are not worried about competition from streaming or online sales. It's the immigration raids.
It's just people haven't been coming out. They're scared, you know, and I mean, I don't blame them, because majority of our customers are all Hispanics.
No, I'm not saying all Hispanic customers are illegal immigrants, but when your entire business model collapses because people are afraid of immigration enforcement, that raises some serious questions about who you've been serving and how they've been paying you.
Even deep discounts aren't enough to bring customers into silver and silver jewelry with the fear of agents nearby.
You said it wasn't like this. If you come at 5 o'clock, people walking with their kids. Now nobody's walking.
Look at this business owner, Martel Moreno.
Melchor Moreno says business at his restaurant La Chispa de Oro hasn't been the same since the raid started.
My workers get a phone call or a text saying that they're here. And most of the time it's not even true, and it just makes people panic more.
Think about that for a second. His workers are getting panic calls about ICE raids. Why would legal workers panic about immigration enforcement? The question is obvious, because they're not legal workers. This restaurant owner just admitted on camera that his staff is so worried about ICE that they panic at rumors.
An immigration attorney says there's a domino effect from the raids rippling through the communities.
Not only are people not taking their children to school, but they're not taking them to any other needs where they have to pay, and that boosts the economy.
An immigration attorney says there's a domino effect where people aren't taking their children to school or spending money on needs. But here's my question, guys. If these are legal residents, why would they stop taking their kids to school because of immigration enforcement? The only reason you avoid normal activities during immigration raids is if you are, get this, illegal. Now here's where it gets really infuriating. California wants to use taxpayer money to bail out businesses whose entire business model was based on exploiting illegal labor, and they're calling it rent relief and food assistance. You cannot make this stuff up. But what it really is corporate welfare for companies that broke federal law.
The raids have affected us financially. Many of us have lost our jobs.
In the new emergency proclamation, a survey is cited claiming a 62% drop in average weekly earnings for immigrants.
We have entire families who are destitute because their fathers or mothers were taken from their workplaces and they have no way to pay their rent or put food on the table.
They're citing a survey claiming a 62% drop in average weekly earnings for immigrants. But notice, they don't distinguish between legal and illegal immigrants. When people get arrested at their workplaces by ICE, that is not random. That is targeted enforcement against people who shouldn't be working here in the first place.
Now we are hearing reports that ICE, or Immigration and Customs Enforcement, is reacting to this new state of emergency, saying that the Board of Supervisors should instead be praising the work that they do in our area.
ICE responded perfectly, saying the Board of Supervisors should be praising the work that they do instead of declaring fake emergencies. When federal agents are doing their job enforcing immigration law, the local politicians declare it an emergency. That tells you everything you need to know about where their priorities lie. This is what happens when you have the worst leadership in America. California has some of the most incompetent politicians politicians in the country. And I'm not just talking about Governor Gavin Newsom. Look at the local leadership. These are the same people who let people literally crap on the streets of San Francisco and Los Angeles.
And in Los Angeles, a state of emergency declared over the raids, allowing officials to offer rent relief to immigrants who are not going to work out of fear, and also small businesses impacted by the raids.
They declare emergencies for illegal immigrants, but they can't solve homelessness, drug addiction, or basic sanitation. California has the highest poverty rate in America when you adjust for the cost of living, but they want to spend taxpayer money on bailing out businesses that exploited illegal labor. Besides Mayor Brandon Mohawk Johnson in Chicago, California has some of the worst leadership in America. These are people who prioritize illegal immigrants over American citizens, who let criminals run wild on the streets, who think the solution to every problem is more taxpayer money.
Homeland Security officials say an undocumented immigrant inside this vehicle tried to flee from arrest, ramming into a Border Patrol vehicle and triggering a pursuit. Agents purposely crashing into the SUV to stop it. Two people then fled on foot.
Look at what happened in Chicago. An undocumented immigrant rammed into a Border Patrol vehicle trying to flee arrest, then crowds through objects.
You should be
at
getting
federal
help
agents.
faster.
This is the chaos that
That's fucked up.
California's leadership wants to protect and subsidize with taxpayer money.
Eventually,
Let me
you're gonna
give you
have
the
to
hard
leave
truth about these
California,
quote-unquote
Jonathan.
struggling businesses.
It's
If
crazy.
your business model depends on paying people under the table, avoid paying payroll taxes, ignores labor laws, and exploits workers who can't complain to authorities, then your business deserves to fail.
For these small business owners,
I mean,
it's
it's
not
crazy,
just about
but
staying
not-
open. It's about holding on to the
It's crazy.
community they've spent a lifetime building.
It's my husband's, heart and soul. I mean, it would be devastating to him for us to lose this.
I understand these business owners have emotional attachments to their operations, but you know what? Law-abiding business owners who pay proper wages, follow labor laws, and hire legal workers are also struggling. The difference is they're not getting taxpayer bailouts when they follow the rules. When legitimate businesses compete against operations that exploit illegal labor, they're at a massive disadvantage. Illegal workers can be paid below minimum wage, don't ask for any benefits, don't file workers' compensation claims, and don't report unsafe working conditions. That's not fair competition. That is exploitation.
A similar scene is playing out in nearby Boyle Heights.
This is not the normal rush hour. There's a few tables right now, but yeah, normally it's kind of busy.
Here's what California's leadership didn't expect. Landlords are pushing back against this emergency declaration because they're worried it could lead to another eviction moratorium like during C-19, and they have absolutely every right to be concerned.
However, some landlords are pushing back this morning. They're worried this could lead to another eviction moratorium like during the pandemic.
All you have to do is go downtown and see the flower district, the fashion district, and other places, they're vacant. People are losing jobs.
One landlord said this: these people got destroyed during the C-19 lockdowns, and now they're facing the same threat again.
I rely on my ownership at a small apartment building in Long Beach to pay my bills. Your previous COVID eviction moratorium went on for many years. I had to stop renting. I couldn't afford the court battles.
Una moratoria de renta. And so it's important that there is an eviction moratorium. Porque esto está a favor de los dueños. Because this is all in favor of the landlords.
So regular Americans, landlords who followed the rules, paid their taxes, and provided housing might have to flip the bill to shelter illegal immigrants and their families because California politicians made bad choices. How is that fair to American citizens? You want to know how to solve this quote-unquote emergency? It's simple. Let ICE do their job. When people who enter the country illegally get deported, that creates job opportunities for legal workers. When businesses can't exploit illegal labor, they have to pay competitive wages to legal workers.
A crowd at the scene growing hostile, throwing objects, agents firing tear gas. Border Patrol officials saying this incident is not isolated and reflects a growing and dangerous trend of illegal aliens violently resisting arrest and agitators and criminals ramming cars into our law enforcement officers.
When people are ramming cars into federal agents and crowds
That's
are
not good.
throwing objects at law enforcement, that is not a humanitarian crisis. That is criminal behavior that needs consequences. The real emergency isn't ICE raids. The real emergency is that California leadership has created a system where where illegal immigration is subsidized by taxpayers while legal immigration and American workers get screwed. That's not compassion, that's corruption.
And Homeland Security officials say Mexican cartels now are attempting to track, harass, and target immigration and border patrol agents. The department warning cartels are offering $2,000 for gathering intelligence on federal officials and their families, $5,000 to $10,000 for kidnapping or non-lethal assaults, and up to $50,000 for the assassination of high-ranking officials.
Meanwhile, Mexican cartels are offering $50,000 to assassinate federal immigration officers. So while California declares fake emergencies to protect illegal immigrants, cartels are literally putting bounties on the heads of American law enforcement. Where are California's priorities? America, this fake emergency declaration exposes everything wrong with California's leadership. They'll spend taxpayer money to bail out businesses built on illegal labor, but they won't fix homelessness, crime, or basic infrastructure. They'll protect people who entered our country illegally, but they'll let American citizens get robbed, assaulted, and forced to step over human waste on sidewalks. When your business model depends on exploiting illegal laborers and ICE enforcement causes your business to collapse, that's not an emergency, that's justice. American taxpayers shouldn't have to subsidize businesses that broke federal law by hiring illegal hombres. The real victims here aren't the businesses losing their cheap labor, it's the American workers who couldn't compete against the exploitation, the legal immigrants who followed the rules, and the taxpayers who are now being forced to pay for California's bad decisions. This is what happens when you elect leaders who care more about virtue signaling than protecting American citizens. California's emergency declaration isn't about helping families. It's about protecting a corrupt system that benefits politicians and businesses at the expense to everyone else. Let me know what you think about this. Drop it down in the comment section down below. Smash the like button if you kindly would. Share, subscribe, and as always, guys, I'll catch you on the next one.
Hey, yo. Tyson DeLacruz. Awesome. Great friend of the show. I like having him here. You know, it's nice and a nice little banner up here I did with the help of AI. Yeah, with the help of AI. It was a good show. It was a great show. I had a great time. It's always fun having Tyson here and having two minds work together. It's better than just one sometimes, you know. You need that. It's like the yin and the yang. You need that energy, and Tyson's really good energy. And it's awesome having him here, you know. It's I think I'm the only YouTuber that he goes on. It's wild. It's cool though. It's fun. And we're gonna do this every Thursday at 7:30. It may change the time frame. I think it may change in the near future because Tyson's doing some stuff. So it might come on at 7 p.m. In the near future. I'm not 100% sure on that yet, but it'll be between 7 and 7:30. And then the show will still go on, and we'll have a great time talking and just having a great show. You know, that's what it's about. It's having fun and just having a good time. So I'm tired. I gotta see the chiropractor. Actually, the chiropractor I saw today. The chiropractor, he's it's like he's good. It's too good, you know. So it's like my spine is like tired, and I just had I had like the it's kind of like a TENS unit, right? But he had this tool that it kind of like electrocute my back. It's like it felt like kind of like static energy, and it felt like it was burning me in my back. And he was like, "No, that's the sensation it's gonna give you. Like it's burning, but it's helping the nerves around the area and stuff. And I'm like, and I'm feeling this like fucking, I'm like, it's fucking burning me. Because I kept feeling, it felt like it was burning. I don't know what tool it was because I didn't even want to look at it. After we were done, I was like, because he hit me with the massage machine and stuff, and then it's just like massage my back, my neck, my lower back. My lower back was bad today. I woke up with a lot of pain in my back, and he worked on it today. And I was like, no wonder my body was responding like that, because it knew that it was gonna get worked on today. And then tomorrow I have physical therapy, so I'm gonna be doing this 4 times a week for the next month or so. Like, once it starts snowing like crazy snow, that's when I start slowing down. Like, I'm not gonna be going to appointments, but if it's like it snows and then it's like okay, and then after a few days everything's cleared out, and then yeah, I'll continue that way. But if it's like a heavy snow season, because this year they're anticipating, I'm anticipating it to be a heavy snow season, and then we'll probably get a couple of nor'easters and a couple of Alberta clippers, because I think the clippers going to be coming back. The Alberta clippers, and we get affected by that, and we get a lot of snow from it. So we'll see what happens this year. I can't wait to see the first snowfall for the 25-26 year. I'm really looking forward to it. The trees are turning. The leaves are turning like but not as fast, which is a good thing. It gives me time to go up on the mountain, because I got a lot of things I've been getting done and stuff, and I had a lot of medical appointments stuff. So I try to do things when I'm not doing my medicals. But I need to go on top of the mountain and take a picture of the foliage, and then go the next week and do it again, like for the next like few weeks, so you guys can see the difference of the change in the colors. Because pretty soon, in a few, maybe in a week or two, it's gonna get dark, and they're all gonna start dropping off, and we're gonna be right into winter, and we're gonna be dealing with some snow. So this year is going to be a very, very interesting year for sure. I'll be covering it. I have a friend that lives up in a building. She's like on the 6th floor. So I'm like, look, I'm gonna let you borrow my camera, all right? And you're gonna just film from outside. I gotta make sure she has Wi-Fi. I don't think she has Wi-Fi. I think I don't know what she has. I gotta ask her. I'm like, girl, do you have Wi-Fi? Like, if she says yes, I'm like, all right, great, because I'm gonna need it to connect my phone and leave it up there, and have her just, and I'll make sure to leave the charging cable on the phone, because I'm gonna get a contraption where I could like suction cup it to the window and have the phone on it. So that way I could turn the phone and facing out, and you can see the snowfall. That'd be fucking cool. For sure. That would be really cool. That'd be a sight to see. And I could just leave it live and run it 24 hours. Just have it on my channel, but it'll be running probably on a secondary channel, because I do have a second channel. It's My Mind Over Your Matter 2. It's 2 because I wasn't changing my title of my show to anything else, because there's a lot of people that do that. Like they're like, they can't make up their mind, so they're constantly changing their names and it's like, just stick to one name and just stay with it. You know what I mean? It's like this name, My Mind Over Your Matter, stuck to me. It's mine. It's my name, and gonna keep it that way. But I'll be back on here tomorrow, and we'll do it all over again. Tomorrow, what's tomorrow? Friday. Friday. I hope it's a good day. I'm thinking, I'm gonna go get some medicine. Okay, I'm gonna go to the dispensary and get some medicine. Because after I go to that fucking physical therapy, that's just not fun. That's just not easy. Physical therapy is fucking torture. It's torture. All these doctors, all these places I go to is torture. My neck hurts even more. It's like, no, but it has to get worked out. It's like, fuck, man. It's not easy. And then tomorrow, this one, she's from my therapist is from Hawaii. She was born in, I think it's the Big Island, I believe, but she was born and raised in Hawaii. And I was like, what the fuck are you doing here in Connecticut? I was like, what are you doing over here? She just went back to Hawaii a few weeks ago. She was there, I think it was like in the beginning of the month of October. She was there for a week. I was like, a week in Hawaii. Wow. And she didn't have to pay for no hotel or nothing. She stays with her family. She has family over there, so she don't have to pay for hotel or nothing. She just flies over there and they pick her up. It's like her whole family's there. It's like, it's wild. It's cool. It's really cool, but like, what are the chances that you'll have your therapist that works on you that was born and raised in Hawaii and goes there every year to visit her family? That's like pretty cool. But she's really cool too because she had broken her neck too, so she knows what I'm going through. So she's been working on me. But we'll see how I feel tomorrow. And then Saturday we got that fucking stupid no king shit. No kings bullshit. The train of truth is here. I said the no kings bullshit. The train. I'm telling you, I call it the train of truth. It always comes at us like when I'm talking about a really important topic. That train horn be coming through. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I mean, yeah, because there's a lot of things going on over there in California. So the more we link up together. Like you gotta join. You have to be on the Discord. Join Discord. You gotta join his Discord because he does have a Discord. So he has Tyson DeLacruz. That's his Discord, and then my Discord is My Mind Over Your Matter, and he's really cool. Tyson's really cool people. Damn, that train was loud. The train of truth. Do you hear the train? I wonder if you guys ever hear the train. It's so loud that I hear it. That train's loud. I ever wonder if you guys hear the train or not. You heard it twice? Yeah. And I open this window a little bit more, you guys will hear it. That train's loud. I have a good microphone, so it kind of does kind of like muffles it, kind of like not make the sound come through so much. But man, that train of truth, when it comes through, it's loud. I hear it. yeah, let me wrap up the show. We'll do this again tomorrow. And thanks, Jonathan, for coming through, and everybody else who were part of this tonight. Thank you so much. Tyson, also, you're amazing. And I can't wait till another week. Fuck, man. We got to wait a whole week again. Like, I bitched the last week. I bitched. I was like, damn, man, a whole week I got to wait. And now I'm here at that week. And now I'm like at the end again. I'm like, fuck, I got to wait another week. It's crazy, but it'll be all right. And let's see, hold on. You'll download the app again? Okay. Yeah, it's just sometimes you hear it, you're like, yeah, yeah, just download Discord and you'll find us. It's not hard. And yeah, I'll be back tomorrow and we'll do it all over again. It's fun. I like doing this. It's therapeutical for me, and I gotta figure out the address. I'm when I get off of here, I'm gonna find the address to see if I could go and drop off the candles. Let me write down something here. 28th. The train again. The train is all busy tonight. Okay. That's yeah, I be doing this every night, man. I've been doing it every night, and you gotta keep going until you can't no more. That's how I'm seeing it. I'm saying like the little engine that could, and just keep trucking. You know, sometimes the engine breaks down. That's okay. You know, you go into repairs, and if you're able to get back online, then great. Keep on going. And that's what I'm doing, and I'm bringing in good people, great people like Tyson, and down the line, I'll probably have more people that come on, and we'll be talking more, and we do this every night. So it starts all the time slow, but it'll gather up. Especially when I do my psychic readings. That's when it really gets interesting. I wanna do the pendulum. I wanna do pendulum readings. That's what's been calling me lately. My pendulum. I'm like, I will have you, and I will have you give us some good readings and see if we can get some answers through the pendulum. That'd be so fun. Yeah, the train's always like tonight is lit because it's Thursday, tomorrow's Friday. It's a busy day. Friday's busy. So all these trains are going to the north. So they're going up to Springfield. They're going north to probably like Vermont. They go all the way up there to Birmingham, Vermont. And then they come down. They come downwards and then, you know, down the line, and then they get to Springfield, and they work their way through Connecticut all the way down to New Haven. And then New Haven, that's where you switch trains because the line, that's where it ends, and then you have to take the Metro North, and then or the Amtrak, whichever the two that you prefer, and you make your way either to New York City or you're going up to Boston. I mean, it's a nice scenic ride, especially from here to Vermont. Like right now, it's a great time to ride the train and just go up and then just come back down. I think I'm gonna do that. Gave me ideas. It's like, Rick, yeah, I think I want to do something like that. Like get on the train. I know it's gonna hurt my neck because the bouncing part, and you know how the trains are. They're not like you're not staying still. You're kind of like jiggling around. That fucks with my neck. Okay, I have a broken fucking neck. I have a 2-level fusion on my motherfucking neck, and man, I hope it just doesn't hurt me as bad as I'm thinking that it will. Like, I don't know why we're in the fucking 2025 and trains still bounce. I don't get it. I would have thought by now the trains would be so much smoother that you don't even feel the fucking bounce. I mean, the bullet trains up in Tokyo, they don't fucking bounce. You don't see the fucking trains in China do that. How come here in fucking out of United States of America, we have bullshit train system? I don't know. I gotta get going because I'm just gonna start getting pissed and start getting political here, and I want to end the show off right. It was a great show, great beginning, like beginning to end. Just continue to have a good morning, good afternoon, and a good night, and I'll catch you on the flip side. And damn, a whole week I gotta wait. That's all right. It's worth it. All right, guys. Good night.